At the movies, Saturday at 6:30.
41-yard.
We now join our regularly scheduled programming already in progress.
Deep again, and the kick is away very, very high. I don't think Rotella will have any chance to return it. Notre Dame encroaches on it. They did not give him the required amount of catching space, and so the flag is against the Irish for interference after a 30-yard punt. The ball was caught around the 18-yard line, and we've got 7:25 to go in the first quarter.
Last fall, history's biggest run took place. The 5 Rose Run for Liberty. This year's run will be even bigger. It's in 127 cities and it's sponsored by Stroh's with support from the Plymouth Division of Chrysler. Your entry fee will help restore the statue. And whether you run or walk, you'll get a medal cast from materials used to build her a century ago. Enter at participating Chrysler Plymouth dealers or wherever you buy Stroh's. Then join us for her sake.
Faces. They're all different, yet these all have something in common. They're the faces of Manville people. Manville people at work, 21,000 of them with one goal, to be America's very best supplier of quality products. Manville people aren't just dedicated to making better products. They're always striving to make those products even better. Yes, 21,000 people with one goal, to make Manville America.
High 60s at least, and the setting is something. As the Air Force Falcons will start first down from their own 23-yard line as a result of the 5-yard interference call against Notre Dame, not giving the receiver of the punt, Rotello, sufficient room to catch it. They say 2 yards now, and they're enforcing it this year. I've seen that flag more, I think, this year than ever.
Well, Keith, when the safety signals fair catch, he's made a contract. He's not going to run it, so give him protection to catch it.
And Bart Weiss rolls a little deeper, flips the ball out. The pass is on its way to Pittman, and Pittman's on his way up near the 34-yard line, and that'll be a first down for the Falcons.
Quick decisions by Weiss, the quarterback. He fakes to the fullback, and he's going to throw the ball to Carpenter, wide receiver. Carpenter is covered, so his next alternative is to throw the ball out to the tailback coming across, and Pittman has that speed. Makes a nice gain out of it.
Kelly is a senior, 180-pounder out of Houston, Texas, and the ball is at the 34, first down for Air Force. Irish leading 3-0 on a 28-yard Kearney field goal. After they had the ball, first and goal at the Air Force 5. Weiss again, flips that ball to Randy Jones. Jones trying to turn the corner, can't do it. And gets just about to the line of scrimmage as Pat Ballage, the strong safety, and the outside backer, Robert Banks, just made him keep on going east with the ball. Penn State and Alabama, both teams 4-0. That's our game next Saturday from State College, Pennsylvania.
Keith, how many great games have we seen in that rivalry through the years, including the Sugar Bowl for the national championship a few years ago?
That was one of the great football games I've ever seen. That Alabama-Penn State 14-7. Alabama won it on a great goal line stand. Second down and 10 for Air Force. Weiss gets his pass off. Man is wide open. It is Ken Carpenter. And Carpenter, the wide man to that side of the field. First to defensive man deep. Cut off his pattern, and he had 10 yards of free space in front of Troy Wilson.
Nobody can cover Ken Carpenter man for man, according to the Air Force coaches. Wilson was trying to do it. He very wisely favored deep, gave him a nice cushion. Easy completion, Keith.
So it's first down for the Falcons, the ball just beyond their own 46. This possession started on their 23. Weiss goes outside, the pitch is high, Jones pulls it down, loses his footing, and he had at least 6, 7, 8 yards on that carry. As he made his cut upfield, foot slipped out from under him.
Berjanik, number 58, doesn't wait in this ball game. When the fullback fakes up the middle, he's going for the quarterback, and he gets his arms right around Weiss, makes the ball go high. Jones is lucky really to catch it, Keith, I thought, and he pulled it down and then slipped. Good play by the linebacker.
He lost a yard on the play back near the 45, where it is second down 11 now. Weiss back to throw it. Gets his pass off to the sidelines for Carpenter. Can't come up with it. The ball was underthrown to Kent. As we told you at the very beginning, his dad, Bill Carpenter, the famous lonesome inn under Earl Blake at Army. Now,
As we look at some more scores, Keith, the lonesome end was the hottest thing in football. Harold Blake came up with it, and why it was so different, the lonesome end, Keith, never went back to the huddle. He was somehow, and people wondered for years how he got the plays, but he never went to the huddle.
Missouri looks like that they might win their first game of the season there. Weiss, 3rd and 11, just pulls it down and takes off, and he's got the first down inside the Irish 40-yard line. Weissenhofer and Figueroa, the linebackers, finally brought him down, but as he turned outside and he saw all that green grass, there was no indecision on Bart's part. He said, hey, I'm gone.
On the left of the screen, Notre Dame had no one containing the quarterback. Not only does Weiss get outside, he has the fullback blocking for him. Look at the wide open area, because the defensive backs, the back covering the pass. Weiss very wisely turns upfield. He now has 4 tries, 61 yards, still in the first quarter.
From the Irish 39, first down for the Falcons. Weiss, little pop pass, too high. He had Carpenter wide open. Had him wide open in front of Steve Lawrence, and he threw it a little bit high.
Keith, for the first time, we saw Notre Dame fire blitz the cornerback, something that they did none of last year.
There's a surprise, with Tulsa giving Oak State all they want. Michigan rolling now. That's a pretty good football team that Schembechler's put together.
Oh, Schembechler has, Keith. He's got the defense going and the offense this year.
Second down and 10. Weiss hands it up the middle. It goes to Pat Evans. Pat Evans played a little last week, having missed 3 games earlier. He is a junior from Vicksburg, Mississippi, the fullback at 190. And he gets the football down to about the 35. So it'll be 3rd and 6 for the Air Force.
The story on Pat Evans, Keith, he rushed for over 1,000 yards for the Air Force last year. And that was only the second time in the history of the Academy that has occurred.
The Falcons sitting with the football. They are controlling the ball in this possession for a very long period of time. But they're scoreless. It's 3-0 Notre Dame. And Weiss, outside it goes. That's Pittman. Pittman gets 1 block. Now he's pinned in and brought down at the 35, and it brings up a 4th down at about 5 yards.
Once again, as we look at Fisher DeBerry, the young coach, very successful at the Academy. Once again, Keith, we saw the secondary of Notre Dame coming up and forcing the play very quickly.
You've got to do it. And now what is Fisher DeBerry deciding to do? Go for it on 4th and 5?
He's going for it. I think he wishes he had the last play back. He should have thrown. I think he wishes he had thrown the ball on the 3rd down call.
It's more than 5 yards. It's closer to 6. The ball is on the 35, and they've got to get very close to the Notre Dame 29, and now the Irish have called a timeout. So Notre Dame, with Air Force, decided to go for it on 4th and 6. They want time to talk it over. 3:18 to go first quarter.
Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. Oh, it won't be long till you're gonna need somebody to lean on.
When you need a truck to lean on, nothing works like a Chevy truck. More than most people, this man should have access to as much information as possible, which is why we've developed, with the American Medical Association, the first nationwide computerized medical information system. This system will give the physician immediate access to the latest knowledge and information on drugs and diseases.
Gee.
No, GTE.
Well, Frank, is this not a considerable risk here on 4th down and close to 6 yards?
It is for me, Keith. My style of play, I would kick the ball and make Notre Dame start inside the 10-yard line and prove to me they could go 90 yards. They must have a great deal of confidence or know something about what Notre Dame will do on a passing situation.
They send Carpenter to the bottom of the picture, the wide man. Ron Bryant is also in there as a wide receiver, so they've got double wide on this. And here comes Bart Weiss. He gets on the outside, gets his pass away, and it is incomplete. And he wound up throwing it to the one man who had double coverage. Bryant across the field was wide open. But Weiss, running to his right, had no chance on earth to get the ball across to him.
I'm not sure whether this was a touchdown pass or first down called. It looked like Carpenter was going to break in. No, it was going for the down.
Touchdown.
It certainly, and if had Weiss been able to get the ball early, it would have been a touchdown. But as Keith said, by the time the ball arrived, 2 Notre Dame defenders were there, Wilson and now on the other side. Now we look across the field and we see Bryant, the wide receiver. He was out lonesome, like the lonesome end of Army.
And Notre Dame gets the ball back on the 35, and Berline trying to set up a screen pass to the wide side, just barely manages to get it away, but it certainly pays dividend. He took the lick, and it produces a first down. He threw it all the way across the field to Reggie Ward, and then Reggie picked up 2 blocks. And he's got a first down at the 49.
The immediate effects of running on 4th down and failing is a tremendous turn of emotions, Keith. It's as much as anything else that could happen in a ball game.
Notre Dame continues to throw the ball. That's thrown in the short zone down the middle, and the pass is good to Mark Green, a freshman out of Riverside, California. And Green is very close to a first down. Terry Mackey appears shaken on the play, but here's the man who made the hit.
Ziegler is the backup free safety. Scott Thomas, All-American, is out on the bench right now. The free safety can only make the tackle on that play. If the linebacker's not there to knock it down, free safety, just make the tackle.
It's close enough for a measurement, so on come the change at 2:42 to go in the first quarter, and 3-0, Notre Dame leading Air Force.
Keith, let's go back to that 4th down try by Air Force. One thing Notre Dame is doing, I think, is smart, coming back and hitting Air Force after the failure of the 4th down try with some big plays, trying to get them while they're feeling sorry for themselves.
Scott Thomas, one of the premier defensive backs in the country, not on the field at this particular time, and Tim Brandt is off to check on whether or not he may have been hurt early on in the ball game.
Well, Scott Thomas made 125 tackles last year from his free safety position. This year, he leads the team. So his absence is very, very dangerous and ineffective for Air Force.
Short yardage, second down. About a half a yard. They go to who else but Alan Pinkett. And Pinkett goes over the right side behind Big Sean Heffern, and he picks up the first down.
Set the stage. Berline, the quarterback for Notre Dame, had a bad game last week, Keith. He was 5-6 for something like 23 or 24 passes and 1 interception. You can see that they're trying to build his confidence back right now, and he's done a good job so far.
Well, there were a couple of times last week he was throwing rainbows.
He's only completed only 46% of his passes this year.
Going to throw on first down again. Going big with it, and just that much too long for Pat Cusack. That was behind the defenders. He had split them and was open, but the pass was maybe an inch too long.
Cusack, number 14, is a walk-on. He's a senior, been there 3 years. Finally was given a scholarship this spring, but that's just about as close as you can have it and not catch the ball. Went right through the fingers, tips of his hands.
4 out of 7 now for Berline, 41 yards. And it's second down and 10. The ball at the Air Force 39. Little delay given off to the fullback. Stam's a 230-pounder from Ohio. And he bangs his way down to about to the 35, and here's Terry Mackey doing his thing.
Number 67. The linebackers have to be active, but they also have to be big and strong and be able to take on the blocker. And watch him get right under that blocker right there, keep his feet, find out where the ball carrier is, spams, and goes over, gets off the block, escapes the block, and makes the tackle.
230-pound fullback's going to have a little leverage on you, though, with that much room to get going. Here's a guy that can turn it on quickly, Alan Pinkett. He's close to a first down near the Air Force 28-yard line. Now, this is the kind of ball game I think that both of us expected from Notre Dame. Just pound, bang, bang, bang.
And on 3rd and 6 or 7, occasionally you have to run the ball, Keith. When you've got a back as good as Pinkett, and you have the advantage in the size and the line of scrimmage, run some on 3rd down. Pinkett is 7 tries for 34 yards so far today.
He only needed 192 starting this ball game to catch Vegas Ferguson as the all-time rushing leader. He's already carried the ball more than any running back in Notre Dame history, and that is a mouthful because there have been some great running backs at that university over the years. First down as the Air Force 28 Berline pitches to Pinkett, sweep right, bingo! Big hit by John Ziegler, number 74 from Excelsior, Minnesota.
Keith, that is a big league tackle by number 74, Ziegler. He comes off the block of the right tackle, Perino right there, and penetrates. Watch him close to the ball carrier Pinkett. Good leverage, puts that shoulder pad and that headgear right on those numbers. Boy, that's a great play for a defensive tackle.
Pinkett got a very liberal spot.
He's been hit a lot of times, Keith.
Yeah, but he was decked around the 30-31, and the ball's on the 29.
Oh, I see what you mean. He did. You're right. I thought it was a big old.
Second down and 11. Berline's pass is thrown on the numbers, caught beautifully by Tony Eason. And that may be the best pass that Berline has thrown in the ball game. Eason drove his man deep, turned back to it, and Steve put it right on his numbers.
One thing a receiver has to do is set up the defensive back, make him think deep if he's going to catch it short. Easton does a good job of setting him up. Wilson is fooled on the play. Wilson, number 24, comes up, grabs, slows him down, but doesn't get him on the ground.
And the ball is marked just inside the Air Force 15, first down for the Irish. And they go double wide, top of the picture. Now they send Pinkett out of the backfield and into a slot position, bottom of the picture. Berline whips one down the middle. The pass is incomplete. He threw it hard. And number 83, Reggie Ward, could not catch it. And the first quarter is history at the Air Force Academy as the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame on a 28-yard field goal by John Carney leads it 3-0.
These are the hands of Mr. Goodwrench. Hands that work. Hands with the know-how to fix things. Hands that are strong and sure. Hands that are gentle, accurate. Hands that can almost see where the trouble is and how to make it right again. Hands of skill. Hands that care. The working hands of Mr. Goodwrench. And no one knows your GM car better. No one.
Last fall, history's biggest run took place. The 5-mile Stroh's Run for Liberty. This year's run will be even bigger. It's in 127 cities and it's sponsored by Stroh's with support from the Plymouth Division of Chrysler. Your entry fee will help restore the statue. And whether you run or walk, you'll get a medal cast from materials used to build her a century ago. Enter at participating Chrysler Plymouth dealers or wherever you buy Stroh's. Then join us for her sake.
When I graduated from college, I knew everything. But my education really began when I joined Mutual of Omaha. Mutual of Omaha gave me the training I needed to get off campus and into helping people as a professional insurance representative. Because Mutual of Omaha is so well known and respected, I found an endless number of places to go and people to see and sell. I learned how important peace of mind can be to others and how I can make it happen through Mutual of Omaha, providing maximum benefits, minimum costs, with the best possible service. My education is paying off for this satisfying career, and it can happen to you with Mutual of Omaha, right in your own community. The demand for our protection has never been greater.
For a rewarding career opportunity, call 800-524-3200. Receive this free booklet. That's 800-524-3200. 800-524-3200. We can be your future.
A look at the last play of the first quarter.
Here's the tail end of the play. Ward, the ball is thrown on the slant end, has a lot of velocity on it. For some reason, Ward jumps, leaves his feet, Keith, and I think kind of confuses him a little bit, and it goes right through his hands. That's an incomplete pass, but one that should have been caught.
Ball is inside the 15 just barely. That is 4 down territory. And I think that's all I need to say about it. Same alignment. Pinkett goes wide to the top of the picture now. Berline turns, gives the ball to Stams, the fullback. And he may be given a yard by the linesman on that side.
Keith, both teams were very productive in the first quarter. Air Force with 4 first downs. Notre Dame leads with 6, but yardage gained on the ground. Air Force leads. Notre Dame in the air. Both successful in the first quarter. 2 big turnovers, the key against Air Force. On that last play, giving the ball to the fullback, who's nothing but a short yardage runner, Keith. Not much really speed or quickness. Really surprises me when you got it 2nd and 10.
Very slow to develop. And no gain. 3rd down and 10. Erline gives this one to Pinkett, and Pinkett's pinned in at the 16. He loses a yard, and that will get John Carney into the ball game. Chad Hennings made the hit, and here's Tim Brent.
Keith, we just talked to the medical staff at the Air Force Academy, and they were telling us that Scott Thomas took a lick to the head early in the ball game. Scott Thomas, of course, the All-American safety for Air Force. They said as long as Sigler is playing well in his place, they're going to keep him out and observe him and see how it goes. But it was Thomas who took a lick to the head. That's why he's out.
Thank you, Tim. 33-yard field goal try coming now from John Carney. He had a 28-yarder. That's been the scoring to this point in the game. This is a win for the Air Force defense. He almost blocked it, but he nails it right down the heart. And so Carney has hit 2 field goals to give Notre Dame a 6-0 lead, 28-yarder and a 33-yarder. And we're 14-12 away from halftime.
Wires are down. Gotta go. You're gonna go with Prestone.
Driving just 10,000 miles on weak, neglected antifreeze can leave a radiator looking this bad, while the Prestone radiator looks this good.
America goes with Prestone.
It's supercharged. The new Energizer AA battery.
From Energizer Science comes the longest-lasting Energizer AA ever made. No other battery can outlast it. It's supercharged.
It's America's newest bundle of energy.
This is today's Chevrolet Camaro.
Saturday night, USA. Heartbeat pumping, time to play. Camaro's waiting for you. Lead me, V8 Chevrolet. Big night history, go our way. Sweet Camaro new. Saturday night, USA. Street line with Chevrolet. Drive today, Chevy. Today, Chevy. Camaro.
The USSR, East Germany, the USA, and more continue their historic competition. The World Cup of Track and Field on ABC's Wide World of Sports tomorrow.
That's the kind of a day we've got.
Gorgeous.
Here in Rocky Mountain country. Tom Rotello goes in as a return man. He is the punt returner with Scott Thomas on the sidelines. Rotello joins Kelly Pittman for the Irish kickoff. Notre Dame leading 6-0. Carney carries a pretty good leg. It ought to be good enough. He's knocked them all beyond the playing field. Special Sunday night edition of ABC's NFL football. The Dallas Cowboys and the New York Giants. That's a ball game, the outcome of which will have effect through the Eastern Division of the NFC for the whole season. The Dallas Cowboys and the New York Giants at 9 Eastern time here on ABC. And then on Monday night, our crew hustles along to St. Louis Cardinals and the Washington Redskins. And it is a put-up game right there for the Redskins. It's sellout time for them after their start. Bart Weiss turns, gives the ball to the fullback. Fullback pops it out of there. Pat Evans. Hard running by Pat Evans all the way to the 36-yard line.
Keith, the wishbone makes the defense be disciplined. You have an assignment for the fullback. You've got to stay there. If the quarterback keeps the ball, that's somebody else's responsibility. And Pat Evans, number 36, finds a little hole on the read of the first leg of the triple option and won't go down. Big gain.
16 yards on the pickup. Bart Weiss gives it back to him, and he'll have a yard.
Notre Dame are changing their defenses. That's the way to play the wishbone, Keith. A different alignment every down. Here's the Falcon mistakes. 2 fumbles, 1 lost on downs, led to all of the Notre Dame points. One thing that Fisher DeBerry told me yesterday, Frank, we've got to play an error-free game, a flawless game if we're going to win. But they're still only trailing by 6 points.
Second down, it's still close to 10 yards. Ball on near the 36. Weiss rolls it out. Throws it back. And the play is good for 8 yards to Greg Pisishniak out of Salem, Ohio. What's a tough name.
Keith, things looking sour for fans.
gets the first down and breaks it big. Knocked out of bounds at the 44 of Notre Dame by Brandy Wells.
A busted play, Keith. The left halfback Pittman went the wrong way. It's a good thing that Wise could keep it. But look at the block on Janik, the right halfback. One thing that you have to do with Janik, number 58, is going to get blocked right there, I guess, by number 28. What a great block that was by...
Go ahead and sit.
Koshishniak,
number
28. First down from the 44 of Notre Dame. Bad that's over, Keith.
Weiss flips it back the other way. Gets a block on the sidelines, and it is Koshishniak again. Flag follows the tackle. Might have been out of bounds on a late hit.
No, Keith, he called clipping upfield, I think.
Clipping upfield?
Yeah, on the block of the lineman trying to spring the ball carrier.
Could be either.
Or blocking. No,
Face mask.
You're right.
Whoa.
He threw the flag in a different place than the face mask. Oh, that's a break for Air Force. He threw the flag up here where the block took place. One thing that Weiss, great poise here, Keith. He looked downfield. His receivers was covered. He dumps the ball right out.
Against the defense.
That was a great block by Brennan, the tight end. Yeah, right there. Upfield where the block was taking place. Right at the same time by Brennan, who was doing a good job of getting the extra yardage, helping him get the extra yardage.
That's inadvertent. It's 5-yard penalty. It's first down Air Force at the Notre Dame 29-yard line. Checking off. Had encroachment by the Irish, I think. And once again, an Air Force running back, Kelly Pittman, is slipping and falling as he turns the corner. The grass was cut short. It was a quick field, as they wont to call it yesterday when we looked at it. But it looked to me like there was a Notre Dame man that had crossed the neutral zone.
You can see Dorsey, number 71, just breaks the snap count. He's trying to get penetration. You get in that, when you play in the middle of that line against the wishbone, you feel like if I can just get some penetration, I can cause some problems. You jump too early.
Offside, defense, still first down.
Well, a Notre Dame defensive mistake, inadvertent though it was, gave Air Force a first down, and now another mistake has given Air Force a 1st and 5 at the Irish 24. You've got 12 minutes to go in the first half, and the Irish lead the Falcons by a 6-0 score. 2 field goals.
Here's the blitz, Keith.
Nice drops off, gets pretty good protection, gets his pass away, got a man wide open, Kelly Pittman. Touchdown! He bobbled the ball, but he caught it just off the ground. He almost struck that thing.
He sure did, Chief. That's what we call the wheel route, where the back in the backfield wheels out of there and goes deep, and there's no linebacker covering him. Coming to the left, nobody covering Pittman. As you can see how wide open he is. Watch him juggle that ball. The Air Force fans, I'm sure their heart came right up into their throat. He finally grabs it for the touchdown.
He caught it about a foot off the ground. And the Falcons have scored. They go now for the lead. On the extra point try by Tom Rubel, it is good. With 11 minutes and 47 seconds to play in the first half, the Air Force Falcons lead at 7-6. From Tad McKinney, a freshman out of Fort Smith, Arkansas. Another one got away, huh, Frank?
Oh, they've got 3 Arkansas boys on the Air Force team, and all playing very effectively. Good players.
Here's the kickoff by McKinney. Hits it head on and knocks it down to the 2-yard line to Alvin Miller. And Miller, a wide receiver, gets some help and pops that thing all the way back across the 30 out to about the 31. Jerry Faust now on his quarterback, Steve Berline.
I think the problem with Steve Berline, his shoulder's fine. He's zipping the ball better than he has in the past. But I think missing spring football and coming into summer practice where he only threw once a day in the double days and gradually build up to where he's really throwing strong now, missing that 3 or 4 weeks of extra throwing has hurt his timing a little bit.
But it's all right. so far today. They run that reverse with Mark Green taking the little flip, and Green will get about 3 yards out of the carry.
Again, finesse play, Keith, on first down. A play that Air Force, with their speed, should be very effective against.
You're not going to finesse. I think Air Force is going to play as well as anybody against a finesse team. Notre Dame's advantage in this ball game, and I don't want to keep harping on it, but their advantage is size and strength.
Air Force, if you just ask them, Keith, they'd say, please don't line up in two tight ends and just run at us. It takes a patient coach on the other side to do that.
Second down, call it 8 for Notre Dame from the 33. Could very easily call him for dumping it off.
Well, I guess I'm not sure what this play was, Keith. Berline is rolling into the boundary, and he gets rushed, pushed out of the pocket. He has to start scrambling. He's in the grasp of
Chad Henning.
Chad Henning, the number 87, and he just throws the ball away to a safety valve, the fullback right there, but the ball bounces, Keith has already stated.
So it is third down and long, 3rd and 8. And they've got Pinkett up in a slot now. They haven't thrown to him yet, but that's part of the game plan. It's whipped out here, and it is good, but it's good short of the first down.
There's a flag down, Keith, at the line of scrimmage. Could be offside. I'm not sure which team. Obviously, if it's against Notre Dame, Air Force will refuse the penalty.
They'll be looking at 4th and about 2.
Keith, Notre Dame on this series ran a trick reverse on first down and a pass on 2nd and 3rd. Maybe they're trying to give Pinkett a rest.
Well, I saw Pinkett last night, and he didn't sound like he wanted to rest. It's against Notre Dame. They're walking back.
I'm surprised.
Well, instead of, let's see, that'll make it a 3rd down and about 12, 13 yards. And it figures pass, right?
Figures pass, Keith, but what confuses me is the fact that Air Force accepted the penalty. If they could, maybe they could. Maybe it was before the snap.
We have a dead ball.
Yeah, that's right.
Encroachment against the offense. No down on that. We still have 3rd down.
And he gave all sides. In the new book, the offense cannot be all sides. It's encroachment. Defense all sides.
Probably just lined up.
But they still call it encroachment.
Encroachment, yeah. So it's 3rd down at about 13. As the ball comes back inside the 29, near the 28, and Berline drops back. Gets his pass away. Got a man up there around the 40, and they're going to get a first down out of it. A great catch and a good effort by Mark Green after he caught the ball. So the freshman comes up with a big play.
That's a long throw for the quarterback. Green is going to go deep and curl inside and try to find the open spot between the strong safety and the linebacker, then come back to the ball as he catches it.
Here's the effort right here.
Yeah, then he does, Keith. That's a great effort because he just barely made the first down.
Just short of the 44 for the Irish. And Berline gives to Pinkett. And in traffic goes Allen to the 47, pickup of 3 on the carry with 10:50 to play in the first half. 7-6, Air Force into the lead. We'll have Sunday baseball for you tomorrow, but there's nobody within the structure of this company that can tell you which one because of all of the possibilities that could happen today. Al Michaels, of course, on it. Since he's directly involved in it, probably could define it better than I. But as soon as we have some determination of which game, we'll tell you. Here's Berline on a roll, goes to the outside with it, and the pass is incomplete. It was on the hands of the intended receiver, Tony Eason, but he couldn't rope it in.
In defense of Notre Dame right now, they have 2 great receivers, Brown and Jackson. Both run better than 4-4, are out with injuries. And that has made a big difference to the Irish passing attack's effectiveness since Berline is only completing 44% of his passes, 60% last year.
Well, that last pass could have been caught.
Yes.
He's had 3 drops that could have been caught today. It is again 3rd and long, 3rd down and 7. He's back to throw it. And he throws the ball to his fullback, Stams, and they let Stams come out of that backfield all by himself, and he runs that football all the way down to the 28-yard line of Air Force.
Somewhere the Air Force strong safety got lost.
Toronto, the Blue Jays are in the playoffs. Well, they'll party in Toronto, and California is leading Texas, but California is in a hopeful posture right now, so you can now scratch off Toronto, New York. That will not be covered tomorrow. The Blue Jays won it. How about that? Timeout down on the playing field, called by Notre Dame after they get the big play. The fullback, he faked the ball to the fullback, and Stams just went loping out there all by himself. There was nobody in the pasture anywhere near him. And now Notre Dame trying to manufacture another opportunity at 10:14 to go.
Today's Chevrolet is a little import called Spectrum, a spectacular combination of fun and practicality. We call it
Spectrumality. Solid. Spectrumality.
price,
Spectrumality. Room. Spectrumality.
technology,
Spectrumality. Spirit. Spectrumality.
economy, and more. All part of the new Chevy Spectrum, a spectacular combination of fun and practicality called
Spectrumality. It's today's Chevy. Chevy.
See you later, Marty.
Who's gonna be at the Silver Bullet
I know exactly how it happens. A guy will walk in, handsome, mysterious. He orders a beer. A lady brings it over. They fall madly in love. He sweeps her away, shows her the world, and totally changes her life forever. It happens to people all the time.
Coors Light, please.
I couldn't handle it.
There's no slowing down with the Silver Bullet tonight.
Coors Light beer.
Tomorrow, division crowns could be up for grabs. And if they are, ABC Sports will bring you coverage of every meaningful game on ABC's Sunday Afternoon Baseball.
The Irish trying to get in position to regain the lead against the Air Force Falcons. Air Force leading 7-6 right now. Notre Dame has the football first down at the Air Force 28-yard line. Monahan is in the backfield at fullback. Berline pumps it, goes deep with it. It's picked up. Intercepted by Twan Wilson. And Wilson brings it back to the 22.
Mike, too, Chief. Somebody had a little late hitting there. That's an old Arkansas boy. Number 24, Wilson, has 11 interceptions. Career record was 9, and he broke it this year. This is his 3rd interception of the year, but it's a bad throw, Keith. The ball is substantially underthrown. Wilson, number 24, pulls it out, and somehow he's roughed by the Notre Dame offensive lineman trying to make some tackles there.
So you tack on 15 yards, and it'll come way on up the field.
Keith, wasn't that another first down pass?
Yep.
In 4-down territory.
Yep.
We have a dead ball, personal foul against the White Ball Club. First down.
Football comes out to the 37.
Here's another look at the interception. Wilson, number 24, left halfback, plays the ball. For some reason, number 83, Ward, just forgets it. Ward should come up and try to prevent the interception since they're in 4-down territory. He didn't do it. Wilson makes the great play.
Penalties now. The Irish have been flagged 6 times for 40 yards. No flags on the Air Force. It's Randy Jones and Johnny Smith. And Bart Weiss handling the ball. Gives it to Jones. Wants to throw the halfback pass. He can. He throws, and it is incomplete. His intended receiver got all tangled up, Ken Carpenter. Now, Al Michaels.
Keith, you're right. We will not be in Toronto tomorrow. Here it is, the final out in Toronto, taking place just a couple of minutes ago. Ron Hassey lifts a fly ball to left field. George Bell will make the catch. I don't know that many of the Blue Jays slept after what happened last night, but they'll sleep and celebrate tonight. The 9-year-old Toronto Blue Jays go to the American League Championship Series.
That ball club developed very well, very swiftly. Weiss coming down the line. hands the ball off to his fullback. And Johnny Smith out of Fayetteville, Georgia. One Georgia boy on the team, and he rambles for a first down at the Irish 48.
Look at the split, fans. You can see the natural hole there because the guard and tackle had a 1.5 yard split, and Notre Dame split right out with them, and all they had to do was hand off to the fullback for a big gain.
That was one hand on one foot that may have kept Smith from going all the way. First down, 7-6 Air Force lead. Weiss caught behind the line of scrimmage. Penetration that time, Wally Klein and Greg Dingens both coming through on penetration. They shut off the road and sacked him back at the 47 of the Air Force.
Here's the yardage so far. Notre Dame 40 rush, 90 pass. What we expected the reverse of that. Air Force leading and rushing, and both doing pretty effectively with the opposite of what they like to do. Good balance for them.
Second down, 15. Weiss throws the ball, has a man. That's Carpenter, and Carpenter gets down to the Notre Dame 41, and they'll be looking at 3rd and 3.
You fake the fullback, set up the triple option, take 3 steps, and then raise up, and Carpenter is wide open as Wilson has to give him a cushion. Nice gain. Carpenter's going to make Wilson, the defensive back, think he's going deep. Oh, and then he cuts it off right there. The ball is already on the way. Right where it should be, where he catch it right in the breadbasket.
3rd and 3. Got one hand on Weiss, but he got loose. Running for the first down. He's close. Depends on the spot. Randy Wells, number 5, and Robert Banks, the backer on that side, were the two who pinched him. And it's just a question of the spot and whether or not he has the first down. Bart Weiss was getting some heat from Rick DiBernardo, and Rick had his hands on him, but Weiss shook him off. Weiss weighs 175 pounds. He is from Naples, Florida.
He is one of the best wishbone quarterbacks that I have seen. I looked at 2 of their film of the season this year, last year's Notre Dame game against Air Force, and he's just an expert at commanding the triple option.
He didn't get the first down.
They'll go for it. Most wishbone teams feel that that's their bread and butter. 4th and short yardage.
7 for 71 on Weiss. The Mets losing to Montreal late, and the Cardinals winning big. Oh, White red. Whitey has got him in there, looks like.
Oh, the Cardinals can run, can't they, Keith? They got that speed. They drive the pitches crazy.
There's something. I'm happy for Whitey. He's rebuilt that entire ball club. They need about a foot. It is Johnny Smith over the left side, running right through the gap. Tony Perjanik got him, but Tony was 3 paces off the fullback's charge, and he just simply couldn't turn him back.
You're right, Keith. Perjanik comes from all the way to the other side. If he doesn't make the tackle, Smith is into the secondary for a big gain. That was a critical, good call, I think, by the coach's chief, but it was good blocking over there by Edmondson and Henderson.
On the 35 of Notre Dame, first down Air Force. With 7:30 to go in the first half, and the Air Force leading 7-6. Weiss back to throw. Zipped it. Good. Carpenter. So Ken Carpenter continues to find open space against Notre Dame. I wonder what the conversation might be around the Thanksgiving table when young Ken goes down and sits down with the Major General and says, "Hey, Dad."
I don't know, but his daddy was a sensational player.
Yes, he was.
Here's the mix-up here. You can see that Notre Dame has 15 plays rushing, 14 passing, Air Force 20 and 10. But the Air Force is doing a great job of just throwing the ball when they have to, keeping Notre Dame off
Weiss
balance.
has hit his last 5. He's 5 for 5 and 65 for a touchdown. On first down, ball's handed off inside, and it is Randy Jones all the way down to the Notre Dame 9-yard line. Make it the 8.
On 90% of the plays, the fullback will lead you in that direction. Once in a while, you have a little misdirection. You fake to Smith one side and then look at the hole. When you get the misdirection, there's Jones breaking in the secondary. Little counter play. Wishbone teams have to have it. Brennan, 89, the tight end is right where he should be, blocking the cornerback and keeping quick support out of the play.
And it's first down and goal for the Air Force. The ball is marked inside the 9, close to the 8. Randy Jones out of Corpus Christi, Texas. Weiss going to the right side, handed the ball off on the way to the fullback, Johnny Smith, and Smith gets close to the 6. When they're running away from you, as far away as we are, it's hard to tell whether he's got it or not.
Well, it's faking there. With Weiss has his back to it. You just can't tell, Keith, until somebody makes the tackle. But the Air Force does what most Wishbone teams do, Keith. They play two fullbacks. The fullback is such a vital key in the offense, getting hit on when he has the ball, getting hit, making blocks. When he doesn't have the ball, it takes two fresh fullbacks to make this offense go.
Ball is just short of the 5. He got the better part of 3 yards on that carry. On second and goal, this time the fullback does not go. Johnny Smith is put on his back just as he receives the ball. And who was it, Dorsey? Or Kiernan. Kiernan it was, 99.
99, Kiernan got some penetration. One thing that he just whips that offensive guard right there and gets penetration. The offensive right guard put his head down and tried to block him straight away instead of leading him just a little bit. That's Joe Yossi, number 70.
Jose,
that's right. Okay. He was blocking the big defensive lineman and didn't lead him quite enough.
He lost a yard on the play back outside the 6, where it's third down and goal to go for the Falcons. Weiss keeps it. Gets inside the 5, and on the near hash mark, that ball will be marked about the 3. On fourth down, one would think Mr. Ruby will be on his way into the game.
The Notre Dame defense stiffened when it got inside the 10-yard line and was effective with the defensive penetration, stopping 2 plays and forcing the field goal try attempts.
Tom Ruby, a senior out of Woodland Hills, California, will come in now. Holding will be Brian Knorr. And Ruby, on the year, 3 out of 5 at this distance, 1 for 1. This is 20 yards. Hold is good. The kick is up. The kick is good. At 4 minutes and 47 seconds to go in the first half now, the Air Force Falcons have moved out to a 4-point lead over the Irish of Notre Dame. Falcons now will kick off. And Notre Dame now waning moments of the first half. The pass has been their prime weapon heretofore. One would assume they would probably stay with it. Altitude over 6,000 feet here. Kind of a cute sign over in the corner says danger, no air. Elevation 7,000 feet. Only Falcons win here. But they came late last night. And normally you don't have much of an impact on thin air in a short stay. That ball is gone. It's through the uprights and all the way into the tunnel. Again, let's check in with Al.
Keith, in this game, Oklahoma State is a 3-touchdown favorite. However, they're
from their 20, trailing by 4 points. Berline back to throw the ball on first down. Has a man out here wide open, Reggie Ward. And Ward runs the ball after he catches it out to the 46. That's a 26-yard pickup. Well, he's finding people back in there in that zone area. He's able to pick them out of there. Scott Thomas is back in the ball game now. He was shaken up early in the game and was out for a while, and now he's back. Clock is running at 4:30 to play in the first half. Berline gives it to Alan Pinkett, cuts back against the grain and makes a big play out of it. Alan Pinkett was running right into the arms of blue-shirted Falcons, but those quick feet, he cut the ball back, cut the run back against the grain and picked up about 7. There are the scores in print for you.
Pick up at 7 on the play, second down 3.
Dodgers have been whooping it up for a couple of days after clinching the West. That'll be a pretty good ruckus between the Dodgers and Cardinals, I think. Dodger pitching has been awfully good of late. Second down and 3. Mike Marshall's been knocking the ball out of the county. Here comes Pinkett again. Got his block on the corner and gets the first down at the 41 of the Air Force. Scott Thomas coming in to knock him down.
41-yard line. First down,
The Crimson Tide of Alabama, the Nittany Lions of Penn State. Alabama out to a 4-0. We saw them Labor Day night against Georgia, and they won it with the last gasp.
Keith, Penn State's great tailback, DJ Dozier, seems to be healthy and back and expected to play against Alabama. And he's a good one.
Yes, he is. Inside the 41, Berline gives to Pinkett. And make that a 3-yard pickup, maybe. Looks like they're going to mark him closer to the 39, so that'll be a 2-yard pickup. And it'll be 2nd and 8.
The offensive line of Notre Dame are all seniors. Underwood, Scannell, Plants, Heffering, and Perino, all of the senior class. 3 of them returning starters. Big and strong, but average over 6'4" and over 270 pounds, 260 pounds, I guess, in the line. Can't figure those big numbers up, Keith.
I never had any that big.
No, I
maybe
never
one
did.
or two, but not many.
I had some big ones that looked like cars and played like Jade.
It away. It is caught over there by Reggie Ward as he got loose. And he pulls it right off the grass, and now Air Force is asking for a second opinion. And they're going to wave it off.
The umpire makes that call, Keith. The outside official cannot see where the ball is trapped. The rules of officiating, they look to the umpire, and he's inside. He makes the call.
Steve griping a little bit about it, said the man called it good. How come you waved it off?
The man with his back to the receiver, out of position, calls it good. Top of your screen. Ward number 83. The mechanics of the officials is for the umpire inside to tell where the ball is trapped if the back of the receiver looks like he's trapped to me, Keith.
Go right through his hand. On 3rd down and 8, Berline rolls out, gets his pass away, and it is good. Heck of a pass by Berline under heavy pressure, and that side of the Air Force secondary has not been particularly efficient over the last couple of plays.
All the linemen pulled on faking the sweep, and Berline rolls out the other way. Number 94, Hankhammer, could not contain him, and Miller, by the way, that's a great story, Miller, about Miller, who was one of the best receivers in America as a high school player, just coming into his own for Notre Dame as a junior.
Have a first down inside the 25, and they go to Pinkett, 185-pounder out of Sterling, Virginia, the Washington, D.C. area. And he'll have, what, a yard?
Just about a yard or two, Keith, as we look at the 2 head coaches. Both teams are, offensively have been very effective with what they do best. According to Notre Dame, they like to throw, evidently, and they're successful. Air Force mixing it up.
That's a good line. Looked like cars and played like Jane.
Well, that's what some of mine did, Keith.
2nd down and 8.
Those biggie ones.
They've got Pinkett now outside. And Berline stands up, pops it down the middle, and it is incomplete. The pass intended for Joel Williams, the tight end. Joel, a junior from Monroeville, Pennsylvania, near Pittsburgh.
If Thomas had known that the ball was going to be deflected, he could have intercepted it, but he couldn't take the chance. He has to go for the tackle to prevent the touchdown. Right, the ball is deflected. Thomas, number 29, is coming up to make the tackle. He could have gone for the ball, but that's about what, Keith, the 4th drop pass in
the ball was tipped, wasn't it, before it got to him?
Could have been. I didn't see.
Wasn't? Okay. Well, I couldn't tell for
sure. It was thrown pretty hard over the line of scrimmage. 3rd down and long yard.
Monahan is in the backfield. And Berline's pass is away to the sidelines. Knocked down by Juan Wilson. He's intercepted one, and now he makes another big play.
Oh, Keith, that's a great play. The emphasis on pass defense is break on the ball. You have to give a little cushion. Miller's going down. No, sorry.
No, it's Green. Mark Green.
Going down, breaks it off into the flat, and there's the defender has a flat second, Keith, to make up his mind. Do I go for the ball or do I go for the interception? He did and knocked it down. Couldn't quite hold on to it.
If he'd intercepted it, he'd still be running.
Yeah, it would have been 6 points.
40-yard field goal now from John Carney. Nailed it. So So John Carney is the Irish offense so far. 28, 33, and 40-yarders. At 1:59 to go in the first half. It's 10-9 Air Force.
Well, Keith, I don't know about the Michigan game, but their strategy has been to pass inside the 15 to 20-yard line. And really, most teams that try to pass down there are ineffective because the field shrinks and there's not as much area to cover.
Eddie Robinson, part of our halftime today.
And what a great man he is, Keith.
Going for the record win tonight to pass Paul Bryant. Going for 324 tonight against Prairie View at the Cotton Bowl in Dallas, Texas.
Eddie Robinson is admired and respected by every coach in the game.
Carney's kickoff. Going to go off the field of play. And it'll be first down for the Air Force at the 20 with 1:59. Now, I suppose at about this point, if you can pick up a first down, this is where you reach in your bag, and if you've got something you haven't shown, this might be the place to show it. They've already shown Notre Dame the halfback pass with Randy Jones, and it didn't work. That's the first time this season they've tried it.
The wishbone, as a rule, and I've seen Air Force run the end around to the wide receiver, fake the option play and pitch it back, but they're going to two wide receivers, Steve, so they may
got
be...
Tyrone Jeffcoat in there now, number 1. He's a runner. Weiss rolls it out and throws, and Carpenter catches, and he's got a first down up at the 37-yard line.
The safest pass in football is for the quarterback to sprint out, receiver push deep, get right over on the boundary. And the reason it's so safe is the quarterback sees everything that's happening, Keith. He can either overthrow it out of bounds, very simply. The receiver's open. He can put it right on the numbers. Wise did it to perfection.
Took 6 seconds. Air Force with all 3 of their timeouts remaining, too. Weiss has now hit 6 in a row. Comes this way. Nope. Puts it over the defender's head and right into the arms of Randy Jones. And it's first down Falcons at the Notre Dame 33-yard line.
One thing that wishbone teams can do today, Keith, is pass protect. With the new rules, they can do a good job. This is a two-man pattern back away from the quarterback, and Weiss puts it right over the defender's head, right into the arms of Randy Jones.
Does that mean that we might see some teams going back to the wishbone?
I believe that's the case, Keith. I really do. We've already seen a few teams go that way now.
Weiss throws this time for Jeffcoat, and he really didn't have him, so he may well have just plunked that one in the cheap seats, not risking interception.
That's exactly what happened, Keith. Haygood was right on top of Jeffcoat. Haygood, defensive back for Notre Dame. Turnovers.
1:37 now to play in the first half. Weiss, 126 yards in the air, 75 on the ground. He's got 201 total in the first half.
Had a busy afternoon. Quarterbacks and wishbone were that way.
Second down and 10 from the Irish 33. Going to run a little delay with Pat Evans carrying the ball, but it doesn't produce a whole lot of yards, maybe the 29. So it'll be third down and about 6, and timeout is called by the Air Force. Now let's take a look at the Notre Dame campus.
I tell you, the defense of Notre Dame cannot really get set for any one thing. They have to be prepared for both the run and the pass, option play or the pass.
I think the Air Force believes, though, that second half is going to be to their advantage. I don't know. We'll see whether or not the Irish get a little tired in this. Oh, they've called a timeout. Air Force comes up, and I think they may have come up with a different set here.
Formation. Good, smart strategy by Fisher DuBarry, the Air Force coach.
His first head coaching opportunity right here. Saw Ben Martin early today. Ben did 20 years here. He was the first coach. Well, not actually. Buck Shaw was the first coach, and Ben came in after Buck. Here comes Weiss down the line, handing to his fullback, the first man as he moved down the line. And that's just a basic wishbone play. I think they were trying to lure Notre Dame into the idea that they were going to throw the ball, and figured they could pop Pat Evans through there, but it didn't work. Now the clock is running, and they'll probably let it run down before they send in Tom Ruby on 4th down and a long 4.
Use about 23, 24 seconds of it and call their timeout. Run off much of the clock as they can, Keith, because Berline, the great passer that he is, could take them back down.
There's the call for the time. It would be about a 44-yard.
Keith, on that last play, what Air Force did was they called the triple option, and the tackle jumped outside. He had no choice but to leave with the fullback, and both the guard and center had made excellent blocks. They hadn't, and therefore they were stopped.
A lot of scores and some surprises looming on the horizon. Of course, in so many of those ball games where there were surprises at halftime, they might swing the other way. Oklahoma had a little trouble getting unwound today, but they finally got cranked up in the second half and went on to a big win. Oklahoma's schedule at the end of the year is a brute. And they're looking at Texas next week. All right, here it comes.
Air Force has used the shovel pass on this situation, fake field goal pass.
It is Mark Simon holding the ball for him. The kick is up. And he didn't get it. So he missed it. So he continues without luck outside the 40-yard line. Again, here's Al. Pass Berline to his tight end, Joel Williams. It's good for about 8 yards before Williams is ridden out of bounds. And the play stops the clock at 38 seconds to go in the first half. Air Force leading by a score of 10-9.
Notre Dame continues to throw the ball. They have to right now, of course, but the Air Force is giving them the short pass, hoping they can make the tackle for a very small gain.
They've got Hiawatha Francisco in for Alan Pinkett, too, right now. On 2nd down and 2, Berline on the drop. Goes short underneath with it, gets his first down up near the 40. And looked like the tight end was the man who wasn't either. It was Alvin Miller who slipped in there. Alvin Miller. Alvin is 6'1", 210. He's a big fella, and he can really run.
He runs on this Notre Dame track team, both the 1,600-yard dash. He's from St. Louis and was the #1 wide receiver in high school his senior year in America.
Back goes Steve Berline again. Good protection. Gets it away. Took a lick, though, just as he delivered the ball. And again, it's Miller coming across in the deep secondary to make the catch down at the 41-yard line. And the clock stops as the chains will be moved at 18 seconds. They might get in. They have no time.
They're going for a field goal, Keith. Right quickly, and you know as we look at Miller catch the ball,
there's 18 seconds, Frank.
Well, they don't have a timeout to call it.
All right, Berline's going to hold, and it's a 58-yarder. Carney going to miss this one. It is wide left, so they hustle Carney in, and he hooks a little bit off to the left, and it might have been close if it had been down the middle. And now Air Force is going to get the ball back at their own 41-yard line with 9 seconds to play.
We watched Carney kicking field goals with the wind before the ball game from 70 yards. He kicked 3 out of 4 from 70 yards, so I think they felt like he might be able to get this one even though it was into the wind.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, if Air Force breaks a big play and scores a touchdown here, you don't think somebody won't go slam the door on their head?
Well, Air Force, I would guess, would either try to throw a deep pass, but I'd probably run the triple option, hope they can make a big game out of it.
9 seconds. And the Falcons have 1 timeout remaining.
Yeah, they're going to throw the ball, Keith, or run the draw.
A lot of open space right down the middle. Weiss goes with it down the sidelines, and it is intercepted. He threw the ball on the sideline pattern, and Notre Dame's Mike Haywood picks it off. And you've got 3 ticks remaining on the clock, and so the Irish will get 1 more shot at it. He had all kinds of room down the middle, but the man looked like... I want to ask you a question. I haven't seen either team drag the tight end across the middle.
Air Force tight end, it really is not very effective from the wishbone attack, but it's a great play from the I formation, and I think we'll see it before the game's over, Keith.
Notre Dame elects not to try anything. They just take the snap, run out the clock, and go to the clubhouse trailing by a point. After the first half of play, before near what appears to be a record crowd at the Air Force Academy, the Falcons 10, the Fighting Irish 9. Here's Tim Brandt.
All right, I'm with Fisher DeBerry, the head coach at Air Force. The first thing I'm going to ask you was reminiscent of the Wyoming game. Turned the ball over, made some mistakes early. Did that concern you?
Boy, you doggone right, Tim. We put the balls on the ground too dadgone many times. Got off to a terrible start there, the first play of the ball game. Then we had a good drive. Then we go down there, we lay the ball on the ground. We ought to have a little more points than we got on the scoreboard right now.
Have you gotten back into form now? I heard you talking about confidence to the kids, and after Kelly scored that touchdown, it seemed to pick a little.
Well, we've taken that ball now and gone down the field twice with it, but by gosh, we ain't been able to put it in the end zone. Dadgone it, but our defense is playing one heck of a job, and they've kept Notre Dame out of the end zone 3 times that they've gotten down there.
Defense has played well. The only thing I have seen is on 3rd and 8, they hit the corners a couple times on it.
Well, 3rd and 8, you know, we tell them that 3rd down is the most important down in football, and we've got to do something about that this half. We got to show them some different looks out there on the flank and take that out right away from them.
Good luck the second half.
Thank you very much, Tim.
Okay, Fisher. So Air Force goes into the locker room with a 10-9 lead at the Air Force Academy.
CFA College Football, Notre Dame versus Air Force, is being brought to you by Michelob Light, super premium taste in a less filling beer. Who says you're full? Motor oil engineered for today's smaller, high-revving engines. And by Nissan. Now let's return to Falcon Stadium in Colorado Springs, Colorado.
All right, Jerry. Let's go. Pulling them together now, and you come in, you made some mistakes, but you're still on top 10 now.
Well, we're in the ball game yet, and I think the second half is going to be very vital. How well we do as far as defense in the second half. We got to get the ball in the end zone.
You take it right at them and
We're
roll
going right at
it. All right, they're going to take it to him more, I guess. We were talking while the band was still on the field, Chief. He said with the size advantage, now they're going to just try to jam it right at them and run right at them, and I couldn't understand why they didn't do that earlier.
And unfortunately, we didn't have time to ask him. But we'll see whether or not, obviously, I would think if I were on the Air Force side, wouldn't you, Frank, that you'd expect that?
I think the Air Force coaches, meetings with them yesterday, expected Notre Dame to be in the running formation and try to keep the football. As you look at the stats, pretty even in first downs, and Air Force leads in passing. Air Force has advantage in total yardage, but we see the 3 turnovers, both Air Force and Notre Dame, 2 costly turnovers.
Surprising score from out west. Oregon 10, Washington 6, fourth quarter.
We talked earlier, Keith, about the parity, and we're seeing it more and more in our college ranks. The change of philosophy of the passing teams that just brought everybody within a touchdown or 10 points of anybody else that they play on a given Saturday.
In our ball game here today, I think the people who are expected to excel have done so, including Terry Mackey of the Air Force Academy. He had 13 tackles in that first half. That is a bunch. But here is another stat that one would find troublesome if you are part of the Irish Legion.
That is an unusual stat. 1 win and 11 losses when trailing at halftime. I don't know what that says, except that Notre Dame hadn't been a good team when they're behind. Somehow they maybe panic or lose their confidence or something.
1 point's not a whole lot, though, and Notre Dame will have the opening kickoff to start the second half of play. 10-9. The Falcons lead, and that kick will bounce to the corner and be picked up by Alvin Miller. Gets a wall on the sidelines and comes across the 30. So twice in a row they've kicked that ball over there, and twice he's brought it back beyond the 30, and there's a flag on the play. Chad Hennings, defensive tackle for the Falcons. Steve Spiewak opens at nose guard, 240. John Ziegler is at 245. The backers are Chuck Kinnaman, 220. And Pat Malakowski, he's 210-pounder outside. Inside the backers are Mike Chandler, 205, and Terry Mackey, 230. The penalty flag thrown against Notre Dame. And instead of having the ball out beyond their 30-yard line, they're going to bring it all the way back to about the 15. 14.
Holding on the offensive team on the return. First down.
So they open the second half with another mistake. And they come out in a passing formation. Alan Pinkett, out of the tailback slot. Cuts it back over the left side and breaks it big. Pinkett runs the football all the way to the 40-yard line.
Well, that looks like the Pinkett to be remembered as a freshman and sophomore, just picking his way, Keith. He's not very tall, 5'9", but what sets him apart from the average back is his ability to make cuts, pick his way, slash through, accelerate, jump. He does everything, runs right through arms there, keeps his balance, makes a cut. Just an outstanding back. Very durable, too, Keith.
He picked up 26 yards on that carry, moving closer and closer and closer to becoming the all-time rusher at Notre Dame. He's got it again. This time he runs into the wall short of the line of scrimmage. So there was some penetration there by the Falcons. Dwan Wilson had an interception in the first half. Tom Rotello plays a corner and also returns punts. A.J. Scott is the strong safety, 190-pounder, and Scott Thomas, the free safety, 6-footer and 185. He was shaken up early in the ball game, but is back on the field. The offensive alignment is the same that started for Notre Dame, but now a change has been made. Alan Pinkett has just come off the field as they send in 3 wide receivers on 2nd down and 12. Berline rolls it out, and Steve, getting some pressure, will not be able to get rid of it. He couldn't find anybody downfield available to him, and he finally surrenders back on the 32. Terry Mackey, the linebacker, coming from the inside to get the quarterback. There's the offensive front for the Irish. And it remains the same, and tackle to tackle, they're all seniors. That is the first sack of the ball game against Notre Dame. Irish cheerleaders, some of them made the long journey to Colorado Springs from South Bend, Indiana. Now we have one of the officials stepping up to stop the procedure, and the referee stepping up after looking to the sidelines. Iowa has come back to regain the lead against Michigan State, 28-24.
Well, when you have a quarterback like Chuck Long, you're never out of the ball game.
There's an upset. At least an upset if you believe what's been going on in the polls. Michigan winning again handled today, but Wisconsin did score a touchdown against the Wolverines. And Oklahoma State got their ship righted in the second half to win over Tulsa by 12. Now we're ready to go, and it's 3rd down and very long. The ball is back at the 33, and they've got to go to the 49 of Air Force to get their first down. So they need 18 yards as Berline takes a deep drop and throws. It's caught! A great catch. The ball was almost intercepted by Mike Chandler. Had his hands on it, went right through his hands, and Pat Cusack pulled it down for a first down.
It's a penalty flag, Keith.
Back on Notre Dame.
On this particular play, number 60, Chandler, is in perfect position for the interception. You couldn't play it any better. The ball, we don't see it in our picture, but it goes right through the hands of Chandler into the hands of the receiver.
And it's wiped out by the penalty. How many mistakes now? How many flags on Notre Dame? That's 5, 6, 7, 8 flags against Notre Dame today. And it's a split crew.
If Notre Dame has an experienced football team, that's most unusual for them.
Holding, offense, 3rd down.
Half of the officiating crew from the Rocky Mountain area, the WAC conference, and the other half comes out of the East, out of the men that work the Notre Dame games. There were also 2 penalties declined, Frank, so that's a total of 10 with 8 of them affected.
That's what Alan Pinkett has done today.
Back goes Berline to throw again. He goes deep with it downfield, and it is incomplete, and that time Pat Cusack made a very good play. He slipped and then realized the ball might well be picked off. So, Pat, I think you'll see him reach up and get a piece of it to deflect it.
When Cusack, the receiver, fakes inside to set up the defensive back and goes back out, he loses his footing. Right here, it's going to go right out from under him. And he goes to his knees, but he doesn't give up. Right there he is, to his hands and knees, and he jumps right back up as Keith there and nearly makes the play.
Here's the punt away. High hanger goes to Scott Thomas. Thomas is their punt returner, gets a crack, pops it up to the 43-yard line before they bring him down. A 46-yard punt by Sorensen and an 11-yard return by Scott Thomas. And for a moment, it looked like that crack might be big enough for him to start wheeling and dealing. Greg Dingens weighs in at 255, defensive tackle. Eric Dorsey comes in at 270, the nose guard for the Irish. Wally Klein, 6'9", 275, the other tackle. And Robert Banks, outside backer, is 6'5", 235. Kovalevsky is 220, 6'2". Virjanik, 230 and 6'2", and DiBernardo, 6'3" and 225. And Air Force with Art Weiss running the wishbone, gives the ball to the fullback. Did he cough it up again?
Yes, he did.
They start the ball game by coughing up on that quarterback-fullback handoff to Johnny Smith. They start the second half by giving it up on the same play.
When the quarterback is reading, Keith, it's not just a handoff. He's reading the play. The fullback will either have it if the tackle goes to the outside, if the tackle stays inside.
Smith quarterback
keeps it. Smith, no, the ball was never had. He didn't think he had the ball. Somehow, Weiss misread the play.
And so Notre Dame profits by the Air Force mistake. That's their third turnover in the ball game. And Erline's trying to catch it, with Pinkett carrying the ball over left guard down to about the 36. He picked up about 7 yards on that carry. It's a 10-9 Air Force lead at this point.
I would expect Notre Dame to do what Jerry Fowles said at halftime. Just stay in there and run the football. 8 yards, 7 yards on first down. You should stay with it, and I think he will.
Second down, short 4. Hand it to the fullback, stands up the middle he goes. First down at the Air Force 30, close to the 29. That was the most decisive move Stams has made all day. We've got that big 6'4", 230-pound rolling. Next week, it'll be Penn State and Alabama. D.J. Dozier squaring off against the Crimson Tide. Freshman Humphrey had a big ball game for Alabama in their last outing. Scary Good has not really been able to bust loose from his physical ailments so far this year for the Tide.
We'll see Mike Schuler, the Alabama quarterback again, who's having an outstanding season.
From the 30, Erline stands up, throws to Ward. Ward's over here by himself and falls forward to about the 28.
That surprises me again. Passing on first down in the 4-down territory.
Well, they throw out here to their wide receiver trying to get a screen, but the problem with that was nobody had been able to extract themselves from the melee along the line of scrimmage to get out to block for it.
There we see the turnovers and what it has done to hurt Air Force's chances. Led to
second down, call it 8. Erline going to throw it again. Pumps it once down the middle. Now lets it go down the middle, and his man in the end zone is not quite long enough to haul it in. Pat Cusack at 5'8", and Patrick just couldn't quite reach that far.
A good fake. Cusack goes in and curls up. The defensive backs commit themselves, and then he breaks for the touchdown. Right there, he's wide open. Thomas, number 29, had taken the fake of the arm pump by Berline. You can see how wide open, but it's overthrown. Third and long again, Keith.
Third and 8. Berline has good protection. The ball is drilled, and it is caught at about the 15-yard line. And it'll be first down for Notre Dame. And that time, the receiver won the wrestling match. Mark Green.
The blitz. Air Force is rushing the linebackers. Notre Dame picks them up. Tremendous throw by Berline, and Green, body protection, keeps it away. Ball away from the defensive back. Green just pushes deep and then hooks up right there. Number 24, Wilson, is with him, but the ball is in front. Green protects it.
Berline sends Stams up the middle on first down from the 15. He goes to the 11 for a 4-yard pickup. If you are ever going to muscle up and try to stick the ball in the end zone on the ground, this, I would think, would be the time and the place.
Well, Berline has looked good throwing the ball. He's had some dropped, maybe 4 at least, dropped by the receivers. You're in 4-down territory right now. They've got 3 downs to make 6 yards.
Pickett is not in the lineup right now either. They got 3 wide receivers and 2 tight ends, 1 wide receiver, and the fullback Stams is the long remaining back, and Berline's going to throw it again, and the pass is incomplete, intended for Alvin Miller.
Very unusual.
Reggie Ward it was.
Keith, that's very unusual signal caller. Unless Pinkett is hurt or for some reason they didn't want him out there to have to make 4 yards on first down to go start throwing the ball in 4-down territory when the defense do not have to retreat.
Pinkett is back in now on 3rd down and 6.
The defense have less field to cover so they can cover the receivers much more effectively.
Throwing again. Ball is drilled into the chest of Mark Green, who's today the big receiver for Notre Dame, and his progress is going to be inside the 5, and that'll be 1st and goal to go for the Irish. And Mackey is very slow getting up.
Berline is going to throw this pass before Green turns around. The ball is already on the way, and he jumps and cradles the ball in with his hands and his chest, and then protects it so it cannot be stripped by the defensive backs from the Air Force.
So it's 1st and goal, Notre Dame. The ball is just inside the 4 of the Air Force Academy. And Monahan is in the backfield now in front of Pinkett. Pinkett with the ball, gets a yard down to about the 3.
Yeah. One thing that's really impressive, Chief, for Notre Dame, Berline is working with these alternate wide receivers, the starters, Tim Brown and Jackson. Jackson's out for the season. Brown injured his ankle last week. So these are youngsters that hadn't played very much. Cusack had caught 1 pass coming into this ball game.
And Green hadn't played much.
I don't
either.
believe Green had caught any.
He's sure turned in one today.
He's shown some real poise and ability.
Stams is back in now. Pernell Taylor is also in. Their power eye, double fullback alignment in front of Pinkett. And he's going to look for the one to throw the ball. Looked like for a minute.
Throw the ball.
Air Force eats him up.
He was throwing the ball back to the quarterback, Keith. That just means that you want to score fooling them. You don't want to score with your power. You just want to fool them, finesse them, trick them, whatever. There's no reason on 2nd down and 3 yards to run a play like this where you could get thrown for a loss, which happens. Pinkett could have gotten the ball off maybe, but he was rushed. He was wanted to protect it. Now Notre Dame is back in long yardage situation.
These plays defy
grab bag.
They just defy my logic. I don't understand it.
Unexamined tactics.
3rd down and goal from the 7. Berline looking and throws it into the end zone incomplete. There's a penalty flag. Penalty flag thrown over there on about the 3, and you might get an interference call against the Air Force.
It's interference on one side or the other. I didn't see the play, but it should be interference.
Appears rather obvious it's against the Air Force because they're standing with the Notre Dame team. And it's holding on the Air Force, and it happened back in the secondary.
14, Cusack. He gets shoved there first, and now he's coming on in the middle. There was no rush. Excessive time by Berline. Now 14 comes across, and he gets hit right there. I don't see how they get holding because he got waylaid.
That's called dropping the guillotine.
That's an automatic
60.
first down.
And that is the first Air Force penalty of the ball game, and it really hurts them. It's an automatic first down, as you heard the referee say.
Excessive time gave Berline the opportunity to just stay in there and find somebody to throw the ball to.
So Gene Wirtz has marked it now. 1st and goal again at the 4.
Keith, we've been wrong in our tactics all day. I would expect they'll run it in from here.
And there goes Pinkett to the 2.
Well, I don't know. They had it here before and tried a trick play. Let's see what they're going to do.
I'm certainly not sitting up here trying to call a ball game.
No, I'm not either. It's just unusual.
It's just, it's surprising, that's all.
It's certainly not what Air Force expected. Maybe that's what Notre Dame was going to do, the unexpected.
2nd down and goal from the 2. Pinkett. Touchdown. Alan Pinkett just barely squeezed it in over the left side, and the Irish have gone back to the lead by 5.
Right over the middle, trying to use that muscle. Good block by Scannell, a good block by the fullback. A bad cut by Pinkett. He should have cut back inside. He had a little more room, but he gets underneath the defense and twists and turns in for the touchdown.
Now, do they go for 2?
Yes, they go for 2 to try to get it on multiples of 7.
If you don't make it, might haunt you.
This early in the ball game, I learned the hard way. I would go for 1, even though it doesn't look like the right thing to do. Down the way, it seems to be the best over the long haul. Fourth quarter, no.
On a throw. Back the other way, they've got it. Oh, he dropped it! I don't believe it! Joel Williams was over there. There wasn't anybody in the county near him, and he just flat dropped the ball.
This is a little bit of a trick play. Rolling this way, Mackey blocks his tackle there for a long time, and then breaks out into the flat, wide open for the touchdown.
You can't blame the coach for that.
No, you cannot.
Roger, I just drove a fantastic car, the Nissan Maxima. One test drive sold me on the spot. You know I know cars, right?
Yeah.
Well, the Maxima really impressed me.
Right.
It's got a 3-liter fuel-injected V6, 4-wheel independent suspension, adjustable shocks. The Maxima's loaded with technology.
Nissan Maxima, huh?
Oh, it's not for you, Roger. Doesn't cost enough.
When the objective is performance, the name is Nissan.
Here's you. Here's your competition. One of you will call AT&T small business experts. One of you won't. One of you will find out how to use long distance.
To cover your customer base.
To beat your competition. So who's going to call? You or the other guy? AT&T long distance services. Talk with us. AT&T, the right choice.
Tomorrow, an NFL special. The Dallas Cowboys battle the New York Giants. And on Monday night, St. Louis hooks up with Washington. It's primetime excitement on ABC Sports.
Kind of an interesting little sidebar to this whole thing. From 42 yards, they took 13 plays, used 5 minutes and 11 seconds to move 42 yards. But once they got to the 15-yard line, that was where they slowed down. It took them 9 plays to get it in from the 15. And it took a holding call by the Air Force probably to get him in.
Now, Williams, number 89, was a defensive end. He's only caught 2 passes this season. He's just going to cradle it in. He's going to watch it all the way in, and then it goes right through his hand. Is he disappointed? You can see his reaction. There's Williams. Has moved up to the starting tight end position.
A kickoff by Carney is going to sail beyond the playing field one more time. And the Air Force will begin at the 20. And now we can tell you what baseball game you'll be watching. Oakland and Kansas City, or California against Texas. And this is why. Because Toronto clinched today. California did beat Texas to stay alive. And St. Louis clinched the National League East today, with Montreal beating the New York Mets by 8-3. So 3 spots are clinched. Only the American League West is alive. Bart Weiss sets the Air Force now, goes down the line with it, pitches it to Kelly Pittman, and there are 3 Notre Damers out there waiting for him, and he gets 2 yards on the carry. That time, he chose not to give it to the fullback because they started the game with a fumble. They started the second half with a fumble. They lost both of them, and the Irish are back in the lead by a 15-10 margin.
Here's a graphic of the mistakes by the Air Force. 3 fumbles, 1 interception, 1 lost ball on downs going for 4th down, led to 12 of the 15 Notre Dame points. That's usually the case in a tight ball game. Mistakes cost you.
Notre Dame jumps around a bit on defense now as Weiss takes a long time, probably checked off, drops back to throw the ball, dumps it off. The ball is one-handed by Pittman, and he's knocked out maybe at the line of scrimmage by Rick DiBernardo.
Notre Dame defense has played the run, the option play perfectly, forced them to go wide and run around the hump while the defensive backs got there, and then they shifted their defensive coverage, fooling Weiss. He had no one to throw to but the back out of the backfield.
I think a play may be coming in from the sidelines now as they send Ron Bryant, a wide receiver, into the ball game and take out Tyrone Jeffcoat. It is 3rd down and 8 for the Falcons. They've been unable to get on track here in the second half. Weiss rolls it to the open side of the field, gets his pass off, and it is thrown very high for Bryant, who's coming back to the ball, and it's incomplete, and once again, they're going to have to punt it.
Boy, Wilson, number 12, the defensive back, you couldn't play that pass any better. He stayed back until the receiver made his cut, then he broke up on the ball perfectly.
Mark Simon is in. He's punted one time today for 44 yards, but he hit one 83 yards this year in the ball game against Rice, and Notre Dame respects his foot. The deep man for them is way back there, Troy Wilson. And he nailed it. The wind's going to help him a little bit. Going back, it is Wilson with the ball, taking it back around his 25, and he dropped the ball. Oh, he got nailed. Troy Wilson, don't fault Troy for that, because he took a terrific lick, and the ball popped loose. And Steve Sigler recovered it after a 57-yard punt.
The punt gave the team the time to get down. Who was that number?
40, was it 42?
I believe
E.J. Jones.
E.J. Jones came up and put the headgear on the ball, and it popped right out.
Well, that's selling your body on that play for E.J., but he got what he wanted. He got the ball loose on the ground, and the Falcons come up with it first down at the Irish 33. 7:01 to go in the third quarter. Notre Dame leading 15-10. Weiss coming down the line on his option, turns it himself, and gets to the 26. Notre Dame played it well because they came up and took away the option.
Here's the young man that made the play that knocked the ball loose. E.J. Jones from Detroit, Michigan. Oh, he's a happy young man. See, from that last play, Weiss just outran the linebackers and made some yardage when really nothing was there. As you said, it was played very effectively except for the speed of Weiss.
Got 8 yards, second down and 2. Actually, second down and 3 inside the 26. Weiss takes it back the other way and almost pops out of there again. He's inside the 20, and it's a first down for the Falcons as Randy Wells got him at the shoe tops.
The triple option is really 3 plays in 1. Lydell Carr, the fullback of Oklahoma, the very fine youngster from Enid, Oklahoma, had a great game, as did Steve Bradley.
Well, they need him, you know, because they lost Tillman to a hamstring pull, and Earl Johnson's busted his knee again.
Yeah, the 2 starting halfbacks are out for Oklahoma.
They got it going in the second half against New Mexico. First down from the 20 for Air Force. The Notre Dame 20. Weiss. Outside it goes. Inside, it is Randy Jones down at the line of scrimmage. Troy Wilson. But again, the penetration by Notre Dame was most effectively, and looked to me like number 42, Mike Larkin, had a great deal to do with that particular play defensively.
Keith, the play was played perfectly.
Oh, UCLA jumped all over Arizona State. And Pittsburgh clobbered South Carolina. West Virginia getting a win today, and Army rolling them up. Army's next to Notre Dame. Second down, it's about 11 from the 21. They lost a yard on that last play. Weiss going with it. Outside it goes to Pittman. Pittman cannot get around the corner. Again, it is Troy Wilson, who has played a stellar defensive ball game for Notre Dame, and he runs him down, and somebody put a lick on Bart Weiss, and Bart was kind of slow getting up that time. But now they put the ball at the 18, where it's going to be third down and 8. Look at Missouri. They had a big lead but couldn't hold it, and it's now tied in the fourth quarter. Third down and 8 for the Falcons. Here comes the play from the sideline.
Notre Dame's defense, Keith, are just much more effective with the wishbone triple option. They're defending it much better this quarter.
Weiss gets his pass away. It's caught. Great catch by Tyrone Deftwood. And he's going to have it first and goal for the Air Force. The ball was behind it, but what a marvelous athletic play.
Most acrobatic catch we've seen this ball. Number 1, Jeff Cote is going down for the quick pass. It's behind him, and he leaves his feet. Look at that, Keith. He pulls that ball in with one hand while his body is parallel to the ground. That's acrobatic ability.
That's one to keep for the grandchildren. It's first and goal at the 9.
And did Air Force need a play like that? gives them new life.
But again, I agree with you. I think the Notre Dame defensive people are handling the wishbone with much more authority than the first half. And now, Air Force has called timeout.
Keith, Air
3
Force
minutes
got a 5-yard penalty, excuse me.
Yeah, they called timeout before the man threw the flag, I thought. We'll see.
Every day, people who want to make a contribution to a team and do work that really counts. People eager to see new places, do the unusual, and find the unusual. People who will become your friends for life. People just like you. We're not a company. We're your country. We're the Navy, the Air Force, the Marines, the Army. We're the Armed Forces. It's a great place to start.
Keith, you can't explain the ability that he had there. That's just uncanny to reach back, running full speed, and pull the play in.
Out of Bourne, Massachusetts. First down and goal now, Air Force at the Notre Dame 9. Irish moving around, shifting the defense. Weiss hands the ball inside, and his fullback.
One thing we hadn't talked about it, Keith, is the offensive guards are the key to the wishbone. They have to get a tie at least with the defensive tackle.
There's the crowd. It is, as we expected, the largest crowd ever at Falcon Stadium. They've added about 5,000. Are they permanent seats?
No, they moved in bleachers, Keith, on both ends over on the angle of the curve.
So the Air Force Notre Dame series, the 2 biggest crowds ever for the Academy. Positionniak is in the ball game now, and a whistle's going to stop him here. And I can't see, because of the angle of the sun, where we are with that 25-second clock on it. So let's see what the call is.
Motion by one team to the other, probably the Air Force.
Yep. Well, John Clune's got to be happy, the athletic director. He's got himself a record crowd today.
Well, Notre Dame brings big crowds, Keith, as we know. The tradition of Notre Dame, the pride of their school, their players, their fans.
Well, Jerry Faust made that point last night, and I was talking to him, Frank. He said, look, every time we play somebody, it's their big game. And he's right.
We got a dead ball, false start against the offense. Second down.
Keith, the Notre Dame fans are down to the left. Aren't they standing up down there throughout the ball game? You see those are right down front to the left. Look like they're standing up the entire ball game, starting right here on the 50-yard line. Looks like it.
The ball has come back just outside the 12 now, where it is second down and goal for Air Force.
Ken Carpenter has been quiet this half, Keith. They've
they've shut him out.
Yeah, they've double covered him some, and they mixed up the blitzing in on the quarterback.
You've got 3:06 to go in the third quarter. Irish lead 15-10. I don't know what's going on.
Well, the clock must be not working right now. So they're... Now he's got to go over and tell the other coach what's happened about the clock.
The big factors down the road in the Western Athletic Conference for the Air Force will surely be BYU. They played here last year, and BYU won by 5, but Jim Fossil's Utah Redskins are starting to make some noise down in Salt Lake City. So they may be a factor in the WAC this year. And penalties so far in the ball game, if you're keeping track of that, Notre Dame 8 flags for 60 yards and Air Force 2 for 9.
Well, didn't Utah beat Air Force last year? I believe they did.
Yeah.
Brigham Young and Utah with two of the 4 losses.
Now they put some time back on the clock, 7 seconds. It's 3:12 to go in the third quarter. And it's second down and goal from the Notre Dame 12 for the Falcons. Weiss going to throw. Got some heat. Ducks it once. Gets his pass off. Pittman. Touchdown.
The lineman downfield, Keith, there was a screen pass, and number 75 was all the way down the field.
He was back.
He was right by the receiver. He thought it was a screen pass, and he was going down the field.
That's a loss of down, too.
Yes, it is. 5 yards and loss of down.
That is an expensive mistake. But he thought it was a screen pass, but once Weiss got under the pressure, he saw Pittman open up, and he dumped it to him.
Really, the lineman shouldn't go downfield until the back yells go. The lineman should stay right on the line of scrimmage. He's taught to stay there until the back says go. And there was a kind of an improvised.
Ineligible.
Number 75 is the lineman right there. You can see him, Hendrickson, right on the 3-yard line, nearly as deep as the receiver.
So the ball has come back to the 18 now. And I think Air Force lost a half a yard on that spot. But anyhow, it's 3rd down and goal now as the ball has come back to the 18-yard line. Wally Klein was chasing Weiss a moment ago as he broke free. Now Bart goes the other way and gets his pass off into the corner. The man falls down. The pass is incomplete. Almost picked off over there by number 25, Marv Spence. The pass intended for Carpenter. And I think Carpenter's going to lose his footing as he makes his cut near the goal line.
On the grass, sometimes you do lose your footing when you try to make those dramatic cuts. His feet go right out from under him. Spence comes up but cannot hold the ball. Otherwise, it would have been a terrific interception.
They'll go for 3. 35-yard kick coming up from Tom Ruby. He hit from 20 and missed wide left from 44 in the first half. Hold is good from Simon. The kick is away. And the kick is good. And with 2:53 to go in the 3rd quarter now, Air Force has moved within 2. It's 15 Notre Dame, 13 Air Force. Amazing how rapidly Colorado Springs has grown. It's up around 300,000 now. Tad McKinney will kick it off. Hiawatha, Francisco, and Alvin Miller are the deep people, and this time McKinney knocks it through the end zone, and there's no return. Dallas Cowboys and New York Giants tomorrow night. That's Sunday, a special presentation of ABC's NFL football, and then Monday night, it's put-up time for the Washington Redskins against the St. Louis Cardinals. It's been a rough start for the Redskins, so they know well they need to get off the mark tomorrow night.
Those are both of those games are traditional, Keith. Real intensity.
Now Notre Dame, first down at the 20, leading 15-13. And on first down, Berline to throw. Swings it out to Pinkett, got a man in front of him. And Pinkett's to the 25. Number 65, Tom Freeman, was the lineman out in front of Pinkett, and he helped Allen get 5 on the play.
Here's the Irish offensive line. All of them are seniors, 6'5", 268, and you can see Underwood, who's a senior. All of them 6'5", 271 is what they average. And here's what they're going against, 6'3", 237.
And there's Pinkett with the ball. Hit once, but keeps on working at it, and a penalty flag goes down right at the line of scrimmage. Allen picked up about 4 yards on that carry, but let's see about the penalty. I think it's Notre Dame holding.
Keith, that superior strength in the offensive line is why Air Force was worried about Notre Dame just running the football against them and wearing them down. Notre Dame feels that their best chance to win is throwing the football, and they're leading, and you can't fault them for that.
Terry Mackey now totals 21 tackles in the football game. Big old hard-headed fly boy from Libby, Montana.
Boy, he's very active.
Holding, offense, still 2.
He has a great knack of reading the plays, Keith, and he's strong with it, quick, diagnoses those plays, and moves to it, very active.
Ball back
Number 67.
Back on the 15-yard line. We're at second down and 15 now for the Irish. And Steve Berline again drops the throw. Gets a little pressure this time and wings it out to the left side where they're trying to set up a screen play, a delay screen. And did he fumble it? Air Force is saying we got it, but they don't get the call.
Official said the play was over.
Frank Stams was the man drifting out there looking for that screenplay opportunity.
Terry Mackey, number 67, just all over the field. He drops back. His roll, he's been taught to drop back and cover the pass in the middle. Once the ball is thrown out in the flat, break on it. Move quickly. Get your base. Get leverage where you can make the tackle. Picture perfect. 22 tackles already today.
It's 3rd down and 10 now. They picked up 5 on that play. 1:40 to go, 3rd quarter. 15-13 Irish. Cusack down the middle, thrown behind him, incomplete. And Berline took a lick, and here's Al.
Keith, number 1 ranked Iowa in trouble still. Michigan State leading 31-28 Iowa, an 18-point pick coming in 4th quarter, about 3.5 minutes to go. And in a wild one at Champaign, Chris White, the coach's son, kicked a field goal with 4 seconds to go to give the Illini the win.
Yeah, that was a bit of an upset based on what has happened to this point. Here's the punt by Dan Sorensen. And it's at the 40 for Thomas. And 2-yard return. So it's a 40-yard punt. Give him a 3-yard return at 1:25 to go in the 3rd quarter.
There are lots of new things going on in healthcare. And this new healthcare can be good if there's someone who really cares for you. That's why nearly 80 million people carry the Blue Cross and Blue Shield card. But this message isn't for those who do. It's for those who don't.
Now with Castrol, the motor oil engineered for smaller cars, you'll save more than wear and tear on your engine. You'll save on Prestone antifreeze, Simonized wax, STP gas treatment, Purelator filters, and more. In every 12-pack of Castrol are rebates worth $45. So Castrol makes things easy on your budget while it makes things easy on your engine. The Castrol money-back 12-pack.
I mentioned earlier that Notre Dame seems to be a big game for everybody they play, a comment made by Jerry Faust last night.
One of the difficult things that I think that we find at Notre Dame is that everywhere we go, we find teams really hopped up, and it's their big game, and they'll come out all fired up, and then people see our team come out, and they wonder why they're not fired up like that each week. It's an impossibility to come out each week like that, all fired up.
I think he's correct, Keith.
Yes, he's right. I think so. First down, Air Force. They're on 43. Johnny Smith in there at fullback now for them. Johnny's had a couple of balls get away from him today. And he hits that hole so quick sometimes and not knowing whether he's going to get to keep it or not. But this time he did get to keep it, and boy, did he pop it. I bet you Johnny figures that thing's got handles on it now. You're not going to get it away from me anymore.
Keith, you got your headgear in that huddle. Boy, Notre Dame would just let them split them right there. As you can see, a good block by Wilson, the center, right on the nose guard, Darcy. And Noah Smith, that fullback, gives a little move on Larson, then he goes all the way.
Yeah, he got down to the Notre Dame 43, where it's a first down for Air Force. Weiss rides it down the line, gives it off to his fullback, and Smith again, hammering away, gets about 8, maybe 7 on the play. And we're winding down toward the end of the 3rd quarter with 50 seconds to play, and Notre Dame leading 15-13.
The fullback on the last 2 plays, success, Rusty Wilson, the center. Number 56 only weighs 225, Keith. He's blocking Darcy, who weighs 270.
But those kind of plays giving you success now. Make it 2nd down and 3. That tends to tighten up those inside backers, doesn't it?
Yes, and they've moved in. You're right, Keith. The tackles have moved in. He's got to go outside with it.
Weiss coming with it outside. Penalty flag goes down as Weiss picks up a first down at the 22, but they possibly could lose it here on this call.
Well, Notre Dame closed in to shut the fullback off, and Weiss just took it outside. Got a penalty.
Holding.
Instead of 2nd down and 2, really obviously running down. Now they're going back to 2nd and 12.
And the clock is stopped now at 19 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter.
Well, Keith, they started the penalty in the backfield.
Yeah, it did.
Back in the
Holding.
defense backfield.
Offense. Second down.
Point of the spot of the foul?
Yes, spot of the foul. If it's in your own backfield, it goes back to the line of scrimmage, both on a run and a pass. A penalty behind the line of scrimmage, beyond the line of scrimmage from the spot.
So it's second down and 10. From the 43 of Notre Dame.
At least I thought the ball came back to the line of scrimmage both ways on a run and a pass. And I think the official is going to change it and bring it back 2 more yards. No, he hadn't either.
Well, this is one of the, I guess maybe one of the things that mixed crews have, you know.
That's right.
They come from different parts of the country, and they might interpret it just slightly differently. Rules are rules, though, aren't they?
Yes, they are most of the time.
Second down and 10. Weiss gives it to the second man being Pisishniak from Salem, Ohio, and Greg picks up, he picked up about 3 yards on the carry. Down to about the 40. We'll be back after this message and a word from our local station.
Nissan 300ZX Turbo. You know the car. But do you know what it's like to drive it? Now you know. Once you get inside a Z will get inside of you. For high-performance sports cars like the 300ZX, the name is Nissan.
Today's game plan. Hold the line on high energy costs. Add another layer of Owens Corning pink insulation, like the attic blanket, the thickest, most powerful roll you can buy. Buy 10 rolls and get a free warm-up jacket with the emblem of your favorite NFL team. It's a great offer, only from Owens Corning.
Reverend Farrakhan, some call him a racist. Monday, watch ABC's World News Tonight.
Humongous selections, spine-tingling deals, special financing with earth-shaking prices. Join the EVS celebration. Who do you know wants to buy a car?
A while back, the idea was planted to take the best of 3 savings and loans to create the best one of all. The idea took root and grew into the new First Financial Savings, altogether over $2 billion strong. So our office in your neighborhood brings more financial strength, stability, more convenience, and more lending dollars to you. The new First Financial Savings. We're not just growing bigger, we're growing better.
For a complete oil change, bring your car to Grease Monkey. We're the 10-minute oil change and lube pros with locations throughout Greater Milwaukee. There's one near you.
I took my forestry degree and put it to work in the Peace Corps.
The United States Peace Corps, the toughest job you'll ever love.
At the movies, Saturday at 6:30.
We go to the final 15 minutes. 15-13. Notre Dame leads Air Force. It is third down and 7 for Air Force from the Irish 40. Notre Dame defense handling the wishbone much better in the second half. Bart Weiss dropping back to throw. Wants to go deep with it. Does go deep with it. And his man, number 89, Hugh Brennan, lost contact with the play. He had slowed down. He had turned to the outside. If he'd have just kept his burners on, he might have had himself a touchdown.
Here are the stats for the third, up to now through the third quarter. Both offenses have been productive. Notre Dame has done everything but score when they got inside the other team's 20-yard line, only 1 out of 4 times. Air Force disappointed with the turnovers.
And punting time now as Mark Simon comes in. He's knocked 4 of them out of bounds inside the 20 this season, and I'm sure he'll probably have that in mind here. He's going into the wind. Oh, it's a fake! They go for the first down, and they don't get it. The punter jumping up into the air. Mark Simon, as if it might have been a high snap, and they try to run it over the right side, and they don't get it.
Snap the ball to the fullback.
Chris Vellante.
He goes right out to the side, but the Notre Dame defense was not fooled. They had 8 men up on the line of scrimmage, and they played it beautifully. Chris just couldn't make it.
And Air Force gives up the ball, and the Irish come out with it. First down in good field position at the 37.
Twice that Air Force has tried to go for it on 4th down and failed.
Now it's up to the Irish offense to get it going as Berline drops back, looking for the juggler, goes down the middle too long. He had 2 receivers running right to get it. Now, what kind of a pattern is that?
A busted pattern. You're right, Keith. Both defensive backs were right with him. There wasn't any chance to catch the ball. Tight end looked like the one that busted the play. I think that Green was due to go inside.
Well, I'm sure that Illinois will rejoice in having pulled that one out today, 31-28. Get some of the weight off their back. And Michigan just keeps crunching along. Back goes Berline. Delay. Pinkett brought down after a couple of yards. Tried to cut it over the right side, and he ran into Chad Hennings, number 87, and got a couple out of it. I think Mackey got a piece of that tackle as well.
Well, Chad Hennings, the Air Force coaches think he's going to be one of the best players they've ever had. He's the biggest player they've got right now.
Well, that Miami throws the ball, don't they?
Oh, they do. 6 interceptions, though. 3 touchdowns. East Carolina still fights the biggies, don't they, Keith?
Yes, they do. Pinkett now with 87 yards on 22 carries. Berline's pass is away and not for the first down. That was a very good open field tackle on Mark Green by Dwan Wilson, stopping him short of the first down by 2 full yards.
I don't know why Green didn't hook up beyond the first down marker, Keith. Go 2 yards beyond the first down marker and then come back and catch the ball, but still keeping the distance for the yardage needed.
And it brings up 4th and 2, and the Irish will have to punt. Should be Scott Thomas, and it is. Deep for Air Force. 2-point difference, 15-13 Notre Dame. They go after him and don't get it. Kick is away, hanging up there. Thomas at his 17, and he'll go down there. 36-yard punt. They had very good hang time by Sorensen, and Marv Spence made the tackle.
Work, hard work. That's what it takes when you want to be what Manville people want to be. The best supplier America deals with, period. These are the hands of Manville people. 21,000 people who know that it takes more than first-rate products to make Manville a first-rate supplier. Those products have to be where you need them, when you need them. Yes, Manville is 21,000 people with one goal, to make Manville America's very best supplier.
It's a small company. In fact, you're looking at the entire staff. But to the client, they looked as professional as the biggest competitors. Maybe that's because Team Xerox studied their documents and came up with a solution, including a Xerox memory writer for perfect letters and a new desktop Marathon copier, which gave them big features at a small price. At 9 a.m., they presented their case. By 4 p.m., they got one with a note saying, "Please thank your staff for such great work," which happily they did.
We got it! We got it!
Jerry Cooney talks comeback on a possible matchup with Michael Spinks. Plus, get hooked on Bob Hope's golf tips on ABC Sports Beat with Howard Cosell tomorrow.
The Air Force will have the football, and they're going to be just outside the 16. They've only had 15 plays in this second half. The Irish have run off 22. The passing stats for Bart Weiss, and he may have to stay with the pass.
Keith, Air Force has not had to throw under pressure any time this year. They've been way out in front, so this is new form, something different.
Ed Evans is the fullback out of the wishbone. The Irish defense handling the wishbone pretty well here in the second half. It goes to Evans, the fullback, and he's out to close to the 20-yard line. So it's a pickup of close to 4 yards. As for Janik and Banks, the 2 linebackers bring him down.
We have some big battles in that line of scrimmage in a game like this. The Notre Dame defensive nose guard, Dorsey, is doing a great job of moving around from one shoulder to the center to the other to the guard, confusing the blocking of Air Force.
California beats Missouri. The Tigers are winless so far. Second down, 6 Air Force from the 20. Weiss.
Nothing there, Keith.
Pittman gets to the 20, and that'll do it. They were just, the offense was outnumbered on that particular play.
Well said. It's a game of numbers. the wishbone, the triple option. You'd think when you get outside, you're supposed to have 3 out there on 2. Instead, there was 1 Air Force player and 4 Notre Dame defenders. Couldn't play the option any better.
If Notre Dame hangs on and wins this ball game, I would say the defense has won it for them.
Very definitely. They're just improving their play, their reads, their familiarity with the triple option has improved dramatically.
Loss on that play, and they dive on top of Weiss, but somehow he gets away and gets his pass off to the sidelines, and it's good to Carpenter. And he pulls it down, and he's got a first down. Weiss is remarkable.
Carpenter works outside of Wilson, and he's going to get his feet right inside the boundary. They do this every day. They are schooled to know where the boundary is. Stay right there. Jump, catch the ball. Be sure you come down 1 foot in bounds with possession of the ball. Can't do it any better than that, Keith.
And it's first down for the Falcons at the 29. They've passed 19 times. They've rushed 38 times. They trail 15-13. Weiss rides it off to his fullback. And up the middle goes the fullback across the 35 to the 36 at Evans. He's 5'11", weighs 190 pounds, and he's from Vicksburg, Mississippi.
Air Force continues to alternate the fullback.
Well, they averaged in the first 4 games, and they were all blowouts, but they were averaging about 6.5 yards on first down play.
That is what the wishbone wants to do, Keith. No wonder they're averaging 51 points a game.
Number 19, Steve Allen is in there now. There's a name. And Weiss is caught before he can make the handoff this time. So Notre Dame, the defensive big guys there in the middle, they're just swelling up and diving right into the snap of the ball.
Dorsey is giving the center problems. He moves from one gap to the number 71. The guard leads him a little bit too much, and 71 Dorsey just breaks right through, ignores the fullback, and grabs the quarterback. Big play, big play.
Yes, it was. It's now 3rd down and 5 from the 34 of the Air Force. 10 minutes and 40 seconds to play in the football game.
Get on the corner, get on the corner, get on the corner.
Weiss drops back. Goes deep down the middle for Carpenter. No. Ball is slapped away. Double coverage on Carpenter. Randy Wells and Marv Spence both back there with Ken.
Fly pattern. Carpenter doesn't have all that speed, but he has the moves, and he gets a little bit of a jump, but the ball is a little bit behind him. Has to slow up for it, and that's a jump. The ball hits him on his chest, I thought. But
Looks
I think,
like it.
His vision was impaired by the hands of the defensive back, Bradley Wells.
And Mark Simon is in. 44 and 57, his punch today, and he's got another good one coming out of there. It is Pat Cusack. And Cusack breaks it well to the 40, maybe the 41 on the return. So it's a 44-yard punt and a 19-yard return with 10:16 to play.
Who says you can't have it all? Who says you can't be buttoned up and down to earth underneath it all?
Who says you can't have super premium taste and a less filling beer?
Michelob Light, oh yes you can. Michelob Light, oh yes you can. Michelob Light, oh yes you can. Have it all.
This is one of Nissan's most technologically advanced cars. It has computer-controlled carburation, a 4-cylinder overhead cam engine, 5-speed transaxle for precise front-wheel drive handling. Surprisingly, this is also Nissan's lowest-priced car, the Sentra, America's best-selling import. For an economy car that doesn't skimp on technology, the name is Nissan.
Tomorrow, division crowns could be up for grabs. And if they are, ABC Sports will bring you coverage of every meaningful game on ABC's Sunday afternoon baseball.
Now there's some burden on both sides of the ball. The Irish offense to move it, keep the defense off the field a while. The heat goes back to the Falcon defense. as they have Notre Dame looking at them. First down from their own 41 and leading by 2 points, and Berline gives to Pinkett. Pinkett pops it over the right side, and Allen runs it down to the 47 of the Air Force. Again, Al Michaels.
Last year, Keith, Iowa had problems with Michigan State. In fact, they beat them. This year, Iowa 35, Michigan State 31, after Iowa had been down at one point by 11. So they will probably retain their #1 ranking, but by the barest of margins. Keith?
That's really a close one. Boy, first down, Irish now. They hand it inside. Here goes the big fullback stands, and Notre Dame blowing Air Force off the ball on these 2 plays as they take it down to the 30-yard line.
Right out the back door. Fake of the sweep and handoff inside to Stamps, and he goes right out the back door. Air Force over pursuing, trying to get position on Pinkett. Thomas, the free safety, has to make a lot of tackles here. He's a little bit, he's given up about, what, Keith, 30 pounds there, 40. Wrestles it down.
Here goes Pinkett again over the left side. Caught in the backfield, slowed down, but still takes it down to the 21-yard line. Number 60, Mike Chandler had a hold of him, but couldn't hold the slippery fellow from Washington. Pinkett now with 109 yards in the ball game, and those are our baseball games for you tomorrow. Or at the baseball game, it'll be Oklahoma versus Kansas City, or Oakland and Kansas City, or California and Texas. Don't go to Oklahoma, Al.
See a good football team.
Right. Second down and 2. Pinkett again. He's got the first down as he goes to the 15. Now you see the strength of the Notre Dame offensive front.
I would guess they would just not trying to call plays for him, but I believe they just now would want to take it right on in. Air Force getting a little bit tired in the 4th quarter against that big offensive line. But what sets Pinkett apart from most backs that we see is his acceleration. He's a slasher, Keith. There are the numbers. Alan Pinkett.
First down, ball just short of the 15-yard line. Berline again gives to Pinkett. One man hit him in the backfield. Can't arm tackle him, and he takes it down to the 12, maybe the 11.
Linebackers have a hard time when you play against a power attack. You have to take on blockers. You have to be able to whip the blocker, get an escape from him, and help on the play. Notre Dame will use a lot of double-team blocks. Scannell, number 54, is right there on him, pulling from the left guard, but Mackey gets a tie with him, escapes, and makes the play.
It's second down and 6 from the 11. Pinkett again. Look at that. You don't think that isn't second effort? He's at the 6-yard line, and he is close to a first down.
Alan Pinkett has had a great career at Notre Dame. I remember that kickoff he returned against Penn State 3 years ago in his freshman year. Was one of the finest runs we've seen in a long time. But there are his numbers, Keith. Durable, even though he's only 5'9", 180 pounds.
They need a yard on third down.
There are his career numbers. Very impressive. 135 yards.
Monahan's in to block. Pinkett again. Up the middle he goes. He's inside the 5, close to the 2, and it's first and goal, Notre Dame. There's Ron Hudson walking there. Quarterback coach standing next to Jerry Faust.
Keith, however you judge Jerry Faust's coaching, everybody likes him as a person. You admire and respect him and what he's going through.
Well, I just thought they'd come out here and pound on this team.
Well, Air Force thought that, too. They're doing it right now.
Yes, they are.
What Air Force fears.
First down and goal, and there's very good defensive penetration by the Falcons as Pinkett gets back to about the line of scrimmage. And number 74 looked like was the man that was able to get underneath John Ziegler and got a piece of him. Irish have 3 timeouts remaining. The Falcons have 2. Air Force came in ranked 15th in the UPI coaches poll and 17th in the AP poll. But I still don't believe you can really start ranking teams until you've played about 5 games.
It's a popularity contest. What people expect they're going to do later is guesswork.
It's marketing. Ball almost got loose as Pinkett Runs into Dick Clark. And Notre Dame is lucky. They still have the ball.
Penetration on the goal line really surprises me. Kind of a delayed play. You could see Pinkett take a step to the right. But Dick Clark, number 52, breaks in behind the pulling guard.
The old bandstand made a play, didn't he?
He made a key play. Notre Dame allowed penetration by the defense, something that you wouldn't expect with that big, strong offensive line. You'd think they'd wall them off right into the middle.
Ball comes back near the 9, where it is third down and goal for the Irish now. Near the 9 as Berline sets to throw. Nobody to throw to right now. And now he throws it away, and that gets a flag. That'll be grounding.
5-yard penalty from the spot, Keith, and loss of down. So really that's about a 10, 12-yard penalty. Puts the ball over on the right hash mark.
Berline, of course, is arguing that I had a man. I was trying to throw the ball, and Terry Mackey and John Ziegler had a hold of him, but I was giving it an honest effort. But they don't agree.
Well, the defensive backs of Air Force really unload on the receivers before the ball is thrown. Shoots that right here, right there. Thomas knocks him back a little bit. That was legal. Now, I guess 60 Chandler hits him and knocks him on the ground inadvertently.
Big old linebacker just waving his arm.
That's all he was doing.
Fourth down.
So instead of a 25-yard field goal try, if the pass had been incomplete, it is now a 37-yard field goal try for John Carney. But I don't think with Carney's leg it makes that much difference.
Keith, he's only missed one from this distance and none from 40 to 50, 10 out of 10.
He missed earlier from 58, but that was sort of a desperation thing at the close of the half. Blocked! It's blocked! The Falcons have it in a convoy. Number 18, A.J. Scott. Terry Mackey, I believe, is the man that knocked it up in the air, and A.J. Scott took it on the dead run. 77 yards.
15-yard penalty on the kickoff, Keith. The same thing that happened 2 years ago to Notre Dame. Too many players.
Georgia, Alabama. Alabama, remember it?
Yes. The ball came out low. Can you see who blocked it?
I think it's Mackey.
67 is Mackey, the All-American linebacker, but Scott, the cornerback, the strong safety, catches that ball and goes down the field and scores with it. Now the 2-point, I don't know whether, let's see from this angle, Keith. Mackey's number 67. That's who it is right there, number 67. Gets his right hand up there, right hand blocks it right there. Tremendous effort. That's morale, Keith. There he is, number 67. He forgot about it. Might be a touchdown. Hey, Terry, the play's not over.
He did his job. Now let Scott run all day.
Oh, did Scott take off? He showed some real speed there.
All right, now, what are the Falcons going to do?
What's the score, Keith? I've lost
19 to 15. But remember, Georgia, Alabama, Labor Day night. Georgia was exulting over the block kick and the touchdown. They got a 15-yard penalty. Alabama got the ball. Mike Shula took them down the field, and they won the game. And you've got 5:16 to go in this one. They only had seconds to go in that one.
Well, to me, it was what we think. Air Force will have to kick off from the own 25-yard line. Here's Scott, the strong safety, a senior. Missed all of the 83 season with an injury. Boy, he turned it over there when he saw that goal line, Keith.
Yeah, A.J. got a little bow-legged to about the 10-yard line because I think he was running out of air.
For a defensive back, he looked pretty good carrying that football.
Air Force has called a timeout to talk about the 2-point conversion play. Notre Dame with 3 timeouts remaining and 5:16 to play in the game.
Mackey comes between the left tackle and the left end. The tight end should have moved his head inside and protected to his inside. Tight end is the one that let him come through. But that was a tremendous personal effort by this young man, the leading tackler last year. Coaches say, he's just a junior, coaches say he's outstanding. No, he didn't care about the play. He's done his job. I don't think I've ever seen that kid. He's still celebrating. The heck with Scott going down the boundary.
Now he realizes that the play is still on.
Hey, wait for me.
Well, it's a big turnaround, no question about that, because the field goal, had it been successful, would have made it 18-13. And Notre Dame would have undoubtedly had him pinned up back there, but that's not the case. The Falcons are out in front now by 4, 19-15. They're going for 2, trying to make it 21-15. Weiss comes down, rolls it out, turns it back. 21-15 as Weiss kept it and turned the corner with it. 6-point lead for Air Force.
Entrepreneur. One who assumes the risks of business. Rockwell International managers have the entrepreneurial freedom to move through the maze of business challenges. With advanced technologies and innovative quality products, Rockwell International entrepreneurs get results.
Does Apple Raisin Crisp get its homemade taste? Homemade taste? From apples like Grandma baked.
Tastes like my recipe.
Does Apple Raisin Crisp get its homemade taste from the raisins that sweeten its taste?
I love raisins.
Where does Apple Raisin Crisp get its delicious homemade taste?
From Kellogg's.
And now, big juicy chunks of real apple bring out more of the delicious taste in new Apple Raisin Crisp cereal. Mmm.
Next Saturday, undefeated college powers collide when 7th-ranked Penn State runs into number 8 Alabama. Coverage begins with College Football Today next Saturday on ABC.
Terry Mackey, 26 tackles, 1 blocked field goal, and 1 sack. That's a career.
Terry Mackey is a wrestler, Keith, and
well, let me say this before you get into that now. Now they're marking off the penalty. They put the ball at the 40. We thought they had wiped off the penalty because there were only 22 Falcons out in the celebration, but not so. That penalty does stand, and now Air Force does have to kick off from its own 25-yard line.
Keith, sometimes the officials have got to be very careful on that because the defensive team blocks the kick and scores, and 11 offensive players run out there. 22 players are legal to be out there. The defense and the offense, 11 each, while they exchange.
So the Irish should get pretty good field position out of it with Alvin Miller and Hiawatha Francisco deep. Still a lot of time. 5:16 to play. And to make that point, 21-15, Air Force leading. Low skittering kick. Bounces over one man, bounces in front of another man. Well, they don't get much out of it, do they? That low skittering kick downfield, bounding away from the up man, and finally Monahan has to cover it back on the 23-yard line. So it really didn't work so terribly much in the Irish favor. That's the results of the top 10 today. And a lot of them idle, with Alabama, Penn State, and Florida State all not having games, and LSU playing tonight.
Well, Keith, Notre Dame certainly has the ability on that offense with Berline and Pinkett to go down the field. They don't have to hurry about it.
A lot of time. All at the 24-yard line. Penalty flags all over the place. I think somebody took off too soon.
Well, that was the one play I didn't expect, the fullback up the middle.
Me either.
I think the crowd was a problem for the offense. Sometimes the crowd noise is such that the offensive linemen do not hear the snap count, so they have to guess about when it is.
The ball comes back to the 19.
That puts them in a
ball start, offense, first down.
Notre Dame, 10 flags and 75 yards, and that one may haunt them. It'll be 1st and 15. They're throwing flags around because the referee forgot his. Now they're ready to go. Pinkett faked. Berline's pass to the sideline, good, up at the 35, and that'll be a first down. And I'm not sure who caught it. I think it was Mark Green or was it Reggie Ward? Reggie Ward was the man on the sideline.
Ward just pushes deep, and the defensive halfback has no choice. He's got to stay off buck. And when a quarterback like Berline drills it in there with that force right in the numbers, you don't have a chance to play that. Rotella does it all he can do. Makes the tackle at the spot.
And the Irish now have it at the 35. 5:02 over the ball game. Pinkett. Alan Pinkett slashes into the open, gets a block, and goes to the Air Force 45-yard line. Scott Thomas finally got him.
That Cusack makes the key block. Boy, that Pinkett can explode with that football. Good blocking by number 30, the fullback, right there on Mackey. He moves him out of the play. And now Pinkett will break to the outside and pick up the block of the wide receiver.
We'd like to welcome the employees.
Make additional yards before Thomas, the safety.
Yeah, you see the first thing that he did? Once he got out there and got some open space, he put that ball on the other side. First thing he did, tucked it away on the left side.
Pinkett has been there before.
He's out of there. Francisco is in, and Francisco pops into the line and maybe a yard. Got to give him a little time to get his wind after a run like the last one. They took him out for a play.
This is where Notre Dame misses the other back, that Keith Jefferson, that was having such a great spring, but he's out for the season with a knee injury.
It's second down and 9, and Pinkett is still out of the lineup. Ball is at the Air Force 44. Handed off to the fullback after faking the pitch. And there wasn't a whole lot in that one, was there? I would say he ought to be pumped up by now.
Pinkett is durable, and he's carried the ball this many times on other occasions. Critical
bread and butter time now, folks.
Down. Yes, sir.
3rd and 6. Just short of the 40.
They don't make it, Keith. They'll go for it on 4th down.
Berline's going to throw. Throws it out. They won't get it. Terry Mackey brings down Frank Stams well short of the first down.
Where did Mackey come from, Keith? He just somehow knew where the ball was going to be thrown. You know, linebacker's not supposed to play the fullback like that, but he does. He stayed there. I watched the replay. Mackey stayed right there until he saw that Pinkett didn't have the ball, and then he sprinted. That's some kind of speed for a linebacker.
I'll tell you right now that the recruiters are already buying tickets to Libby, Montana to see if there are any more up there.
Oh, boy.
27 tackles for him.
27 in this ball game, all over the field. Many of them critical.
It's 4th down and 5, and Steve Berline will have nothing to do with it until the crowd quiets down. And I don't blame him. This might be the bell cow play of the ball game here. Pinkett is back in. I would say if they've got a play designed where they might get Pinkett out into a one-on-one situation, this might be the place to spend it. But we'll see after we come back.
You thinking what I'm thinking?
Meet Nissan's hottest truck, the best-selling Cane Cab. Engineered to hitch a tough, smooth side strong box to 9 cubic feet of lockable storage and jump seats behind the buckets. Nissan, first and still, king of the compact. Yahoo! Come take a ride in the wide open spaces. The cab is king. The name is Nissan.
To photograph the Earth's resources from the air, they say you need a camera that can see through clouds.
Bad chance. Can't be done.
But Goodyear said, let's try a new way, and developed a special kind of radar.
Goodyear?
Yeah, the Aerospace Group. Radar that not only sees through clouds, but gives you pictures as sharp as some cameras. Good thing we didn't listen to what they say. Goodyear.
The timeout situation with 2:53 to play. Notre Dame with 2 now remaining, and Air Force 1, 21-15. The Falcons hold the lead at the touchdown coming from the blocked field goal try. Pinkett is in. On 4th, and penalty flag goes down just as the ball is snapped. Did somebody line up offside? I didn't see any movement.
If they stop it before the play, it's on the offense. Contact, encroachment by the offense or contact by the defense. One or the other.
I think somebody might have lined up offside. Poise, poise. Those are your words, my man.
Yes, sir.
I think it's a man up at the top of the picture, isn't it? That might have been lined up
offside.
I can't tell from that angle.
Well, we'll see what he says.
But the linesman flipped it out there quickly, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
We have a dead ball. Encroachment on the offense. 5 seconds was run off. We put back on the clock.
So it is 4th and 10. And they're going to punt. Air Force got nobody back. And I'm not sure Air Force is believing they're going to punt. I don't think they believe it, and they're not going to send anybody back. Now Scott Thomas starts drifting back as Sorensen hits it and hangs it very high, and they're going to try to kill it deep, and they will, down at the 12-yard line. So Sorensen does a good job with the punt. Distance is not all that much of a factor. What you want to do is make sure you get that thing as deep as you possibly can. Well, we're in for another barn burner next week. These two teams get together. Last year was one of the most shocking scores ever to come out of that series when Alabama shut them out 6-0 in Tuscaloosa. Well, I bet you it's not 6-0 next Saturday.
No, 2 field goals in the ball game last year, but Penn State is a much better football team, as is Alabama. Both of them undefeated. Mike Shula will get to see him again, improving with every ball game, and Dozier's back.
I would think Cornelius Bennett will probably be back, too.
I didn't even know he was hurt.
Oh, yeah, he's been in a leg cast. He's been hurt for 3 weeks.
One of the best linebackers in America. Already made All-American last year as a sophomore.
It's first down Air Force from the 12, and the penalty flags fly as the fullback, Pat Evans, carries on that quick pop play. And let's see about the call.
Well, Keith, how many timeouts?
Air Force has 1, Notre Dame 2. Air Force was moving.
See, when would be the best time for Notre Dame to use those timeouts? Third down, definitely, if they can get them into the third down situation, and maybe on second down.
Dead ball. False start. Offense. First down.
2 minutes and 45 seconds remain to play in the ball game.
Keith, 2 years ago, we did this ball game, and Chris Funk, the big defensive tackle for Air Force, blocked 2 field goals and an extra point attempt.
Yep, I remember that. He had a day and a half, didn't he?
And the score was 23-22 Air Force.
They ride it up the middle again to the fullback on first down and 15. And Dorsey, Eric Dorsey, out of McLean, Virginia, makes the tackle.
Dorsey is playing for Mike Griffin, who was a starter, injured his leg, out for the season. Once again, Wilson, the center's blocking on him. He runs around and makes the play. Big old hands, grabs him in and throws him to the ground.
Notre Dame timeout.
We're not a company.
But no company has more pride in what they do.
Or more pride in how well they do it.
We offer you a meaningful and fulfilling future.
One that goes far beyond the ordinary.
One that brings with it the respect and admiration of Americans everywhere.
We're not a company.
We're your country.
We're the Air Force.
The Marines.
The Army.
The Navy.
We're the Armed Forces.
It's a great place to start.
Warm moments, she's such a delight. Rub-a-dub, baby, the water's just right. Snuggle down cozy, baby, sleep tight. Let our gentle flame keep you warm tonight. Warm moments, for those warm moments, nothing warms you like gas.
Warm is what a gas home is all about. And if you're beyond natural gas service, enjoy the efficiency of gas by using propane.
Nothing warms you like gas.
21-15, Air Force lead over Notre Dame. 2 minutes, 37 seconds to play in the football game. Air Force is backed up, second down, and 12 on their own 10-yard line. Notre Dame now with 1 timeout remaining, and Air Force 1 timeout remaining. Air Force doesn't need to spend its lone remaining timeout as long as they're leading by 6 points. Here comes Bart Weiss around the corner. Look out! First down, Air Force.
What sets a great wishbone quarterback apart? Speed, 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 Keith. He showed what it takes for a quarterback in the wishbone to accelerate. A good block by the defensive halfback on the defensive end, and Weiss just runs down the field, picks up the block of the wide receiver, and makes the key first down.
14 carries, 109 yards for the quarterback, and he's the best I've seen in the wishbone since Jack Mildren of Oklahoma.
And Jack Mildren has been rated for years as the top wishbone quarterback of all time.
28-yard line, first down for Air Force. Weiss has got it going the other way and gets it out to the 31. Now, as we run out of time, headed toward the end of the day, we are going to start looking at some of the major scores of the day, but right now a timeout has been called by Notre Dame, their last.
Radio Shack knows when you're working for the future of your business, you need the high performance of the Tandy 2000. The performance to manage your business. The high performance to create and design. And the performance to market and sell. The high performance of the Tandy 2000 can meet your needs today and tomorrow. Tandy computers in business for business. Only at Radio Shack.
Designs that work are designs that last. And a Delta washerless faucet lasts and lasts and lasts. When it's on, it's on. And when it's off, it's off. So it works just as beautifully as it looks. Enduring designs by Delta for the beautiful designs that you live in. Delta Faucet, we're first because we last.
While the Irish defense is on the field trying to stop Air Force, the offensive unit in a huddle on the sidelines, hoping they'll get one more shot at it. 21-15, as you see, and there's the time, 2:19, and the Irish no more. Timeout. Second down, 7, Air Force. Weiss hit behind the line of scrimmage. Another good defensive play. Robert Banks flying through to get the Air Force quarterback. Bart Weiss behind the line of scrimmage. Virginik also involved in it. Here come the two backers.
Virginik just fights off the blockers. Tries to get into play, number 58. He does just fight his way right through, Keith.
Yeah, but it was Banks
who made the play. Right.
26-yard line now. The loss back to there, where it is third down and 12. A little pop to Randy Jones. And Jones is loose for an Air Force first down, a penalty flag, and that'll tack on some more for the Air Force.
Well, Keith, let's go back. There's been only 3 teams to defeat Notre Dame since 1900, 4 times in a row. USC did it 5 straight between 78 and 82 as Jones makes a great run, a little reverse play. Notre Dame anxious to go with the flow.
That was a face mask.
Northwestern under Air Parsegian beat him 4 times, and Duffy Daugherty beat him 4 times in a row.
Now there are the scores. Number 1, Iowa finally pulled it out against Michigan State by 4 points. And Oklahoma rolled in the second half against Kansas State after struggling through the first half. Ohio State loses to Illinois by 3. Michigan rolling along against Wisconsin, giving up their first touchdown of the year. Oklahoma State came late to beat Tulsa. And with a minute 19-18 now and counting here in Colorado Springs, Air Force just going to take the snap and try to run out the ball game now. They give it to the fullback, popping him in there, Pat Evans. And he gets about 3-4 yards on the carry. Nebraska coming late to beat New Mexico 38-7. And Boston College beating Rutgers 20-10. And other scores, there's a bit of a surprise. Georgia Tech really beginning to assert themselves in the ACC. Arkansas remains undefeated, 41-0 over TCU. And UCLA kicked Arizona State sideways today after Arizona State had shut down USC last week. Pittsburgh beat up on South Carolina. Now I imagine the Gamecocks are pretty sore right about now. 35 seconds and the clock running. It appears the Air Force Academy Falcons have got this one in hand as Johnny Smith pops out of there, the fullback, and runs it down to the Notre Dame 27-yard line. And that stops the clock at 29 seconds. They were two men all over Bart Weiss back there, but the ball was long gone. Here comes Johnny up through the middle.
Boy, the Notre Dame defense going for the option play. They didn't even see that the fullback Smith had the ball. He comes close to scoring with it. Weiss got hit hard after he handed the ball off. Got up slowly, but he's back in there.
The outcome of this game is now academic. Tennessee had a close one against Wake Forest, but they remain undefeated. Indiana, look at that. They're having a heck of a start this year. It's a matter of time now. Just let it run on out. Notre Dame can't stop the clock anymore. All Air Force has to do is just snap the ball, and now this one is done. The final score, the Air Force Falcons, 21. The Fighting Irish of Notre Dame, 15. They did it on a blocked field goal try by Terry Mackey, picked off by A.J. Scott in the air. He went 77 yards and turned it around to win for the fourth consecutive year for the Falcons of the Air Force Academy.
Chief, my congratulations to Fisher Dubert and your staff.
Well, they played a good football game. There's no question about it. A little surprising that Notre Dame played the kind of a game they did in the first half, but now let's go to Al Michael.